In a world dominated by sports podcasts, three friends team up to bring you another one. Driven by the incessant need to argue with one another, the Context Matters podcast will toe the line between what they believe and what they believe will piss off their friend. Listen and enjoy as the group chat you never wanted to read becomes the podcast you hardly want to listen to. The bits are long, the rage bait is real, and the context matters.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us on episode 22. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. It's
Nice.
Monday, June 1st. I'm Bill. With me, as always, are David and Jabo. How we feel, boys?
Not good. It has been cold and rainy, and I want my summer back. This is ridiculous, and I am sad.
Yeah, it's almost June and seems to be raining every weekend again. But luckily, today should be the A.J. Brown sweepstakes day. I'm excited. Patriots, here we go.
True.
Let's get them.
I can't wait
Yeah.
for that to age terribly. Ian Rappaport said those two sides aren't even all that close. Anyway, on the docket
could be
today,
smoke.
we're going to be responding to mailbag listener questions. And I want to thank everybody who sent in questions. We actually received enough where we're just going to do a whole mailbag show. So we're still going to touch on hot topics around the NFL, but at least for this week, we're going to take a pause on Master Debater. We're going to take a pause on David's Cookie Corner and anything else, because I think we're gonna get into some topics here with the mailbag questions. So thanks everybody for that. And then let's have a word from our first presenting sponsor, Hyatt Trucks.
Sure, let's do that. Are you tired of dealing with unreliable waste removal services, or worse, the weekly dump trip? Say hello to Hyatt Trucks Waste Removal, Southern New Hampshire's top choice for dependable disposal. Based in Milford, New Hampshire, they serve Hillsborough County and beyond, including Milford, Nashua, Bedford, Manchester, and Peterborough. They're a family-owned business with over 70 five-star Google reviews, are fully insured, and ready to handle any waste removal needs. They offer flexible roll-off dumpsters and are now offering 2- and 4-yard dumpsters to be picked up weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly. They offer comprehensive junk removal services, hauling away furniture, appliances, yard waste, and more. But let's talk about what can really make a difference in your week. Hyatt offers weekly curbside trash pickup to Milford, New Boston, Bedford, Jaffrey, Peterborough, New Ipswich, and surrounding towns beginning at just $40 a month, with provided barrels, options for recycling, and reliable pickups on time every time. Ready to join the Hyatt Trucks family? Head to hiott-trux.com and sign up using code CONTEXT to let them know we sent you. Hyatt Trucks, you chuck it, we truck it, making waste removal simple and stress-free.
Thank you for that, JMO. I love a good junk removal service.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So I got to make it 22 episodes before I finally messed up live with the ad read.
Hey, good for you.
I was going to say, I mess up every week by saying the anything else segment of the intro. So the fact that you made this far without messing up the ad is that's impressive.
Thank you.
So let's get right into the mailbag questions. So these aren't in any particular order. I tried not to really think about the questions too much when I was throwing them in this little spreadsheet that I made. So they're gonna be completely random. So we set out a call to our listeners to submit questions, and we said it could be football related. It could not be football related. It could be whatever you wanted. And I think we got a lot more kind of thought-provoking non-football related questions as opposed to like, who should I draft in round one? But don't worry, JMO's got a couple of fantasy episodes queued up, ready to go as we get closer to the fantasy draft season. But let's open this up. So between the three of us, who do you think would win in a foot race of varying lengths? So 100-meter, 1 mile, etc. So other thoughts about that. So I'll take this one on. Honestly, this is a really intriguing question right now. So I think over last year, where David tore his ACL, I think it wouldn't have been that good of a question because it would have been David Freed.
Who's coming in second?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But David, in his current rehab status, I think I'm giving any varying length, but especially the shorter term ones. The longer ones are a little bit hard because none of us are really distance runners. Shorter term length, I got to give to JMO right now. I'm the slowest of the three of us, even after David's injury, probably.
I don't know. I can't really sprint yet or run at
Yeah,
80%,
I
so
don't know.
I'd give you that. And you did cheat when we ran and flagged when we did our little race. You
Nice.
always get mad. I call you a cheater, but you cheat on
I
things,
don't
so that's
remember
fun.
cheating, so I'm sure this didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a quick burst, maybe, but like it's not going to take long for me to be winded and you guys to pass me. I struggle with running so much, and like I am in just good enough shape to maybe win a short sprint, and outside of that, I'm gone. I am like, we're talking, if we're doing a mile, I'd be happy to finish a 10-minute mile. And like, if I could probably, if I really pushed it, I could maybe do like a 9 to 9.5 minute mile and then be absolutely gassed and couldn't even finish a second mile. If you wanted me to run a mile and a half,
Okay,
2 miles, I'll be happy to do like maybe an 11-minute pace or 12-minute pace. Like it's not good.
then on that, I'd probably say like, I mean, is this right now? Like, are we gonna go race right now, or do we have a little bit to train? I'm probably the only one of us who actually has done distance running of any kind in my past because I like did a 7 mile bridge run. I've done some 5Ks, so I don't know. Like with training, maybe me for the longer ones, definitely not the shorter ones. I'm no sprinter by any means. David knows that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? If I was healthy, we'd have
It,
to
I
see.
on you could probably beat me right now, to be honest. I'm not quick.
Oh, let's see when we play basketball because I might put on the old knee
True.
brace and see what happens.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. So this next question is Taylor Swift the Yoko Ono to Travis Kelsey. So the way that I read this, and the person who submitted this said, as a Swiftie, I was asked this question, but I was interested in your take. So the way I read this is she the Yoko Ono, as in, is she splitting up Travis or diverting Travis Kelsey's attention to the Chiefs, or away from Patrick Mahomes? That's how I read this. My short answer is no. I think Travis Kelsey's just kind of on the back two holes, not even the back nine, but the end of
Yep.
his career anyway. He was kind of an interesting case where he started dominating the league a little late compared to most players who come in and dominate right away. So he was already
Yep.
kind of on the older side once he started really clicking with Patrick Mahomes. I just think he's kind of like in that twilight of his career, and his numbers are just fading just because.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I don't really see Taylor Swift as a huge impact to Travis Kelsey on the field. I wish she was
I
because
don't
I
know.
hate the Chiefs, but
I can kind of see a similarity because he never really had like a real distraction in that aspect. And it is definitely taking away, you would say, from like his training and his prep and all that. Because last year he looked like a shell of himself prior, you know? So I feel like the longer they're together, the more it takes away from his ability to play, whether it's like age related and all that, which definitely plays a role into it. But I think it's just mostly a distraction. When you think about like Tom Brady always dated supermodels, so it's like it wasn't a big deal when like something happened, you know. He just always worked at his craft. Where I feel like Travis Kelsey, he likes the limelight, the spotlight. So I don't think that helps him in this
yeah, but
aspect either.
I'd put that more on his podcast with his brother necessarily, even
Yeah,
than
that's
Taylor
true
Swift.
too.
Yeah.
I don't even know
I
how much that's been a play out. And I also think Mahomes hasn't been. Mahomes was kind of
Yeah.
a steal of himself last year. He wasn't quite the playmaker he was before. But JMO, over to you.
Well, yeah. So I think any kind of decline in performance is 100% age related. The guy's 36 years old. And the other side of it is, he's won multiple Super Bowls, and he is like a big reason why they were winning Super Bowls, and that never distracted him or took anything away from him. So I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. I don't buy into that at all. I don't think Taylor Swift has anything to do with anything that happens with his career. I don't even think it's much of a distraction. I mean, these guys, like talking about professional athletes in general, create their own distractions, one way or another. So I don't think that this is anything outside of that. I don't think she's breaking anything up. I don't think she's holding him back. I don't think, there might be a decision made whether he retires a year earlier than he would if he never met Taylor Swift. But outside of that, and even that, I don't really buy into. So I don't think it's really related personally.
Yeah, that's true. Another play I just thought of too is he's never been like a true focal point of the offense where it was always like Tyreek Hill and you had to worry about all these other guys, and then Travis Kelsey killed you. But
Yeah.
now that all those guys are gone, it's like if you stop Kelsey, you pretty much stop the offense. So that's kind of what teams are
Yeah.
doing.
Rashi Rice can stop himself, so just not his car.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, the other funny thing to always look into with Travis Kelsey is the code switching that he does based on his girlfriend or fiance or
Right.
whatever at the time. Like, it's so funny when he's been with people prior who maybe are a little less I don't know, preppy than Taylor Swift, and he looks like a completely different guy in interviews,
Yeah.
talks like a completely different
The whole
person.
Blake, I was going to say like the
Yeah,
Blake
yeah,
Griffin thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Blake Griffin's
Blake
awesome.
Griffin. I'm
Yep.
gonna be on a podcast after this with
With Carmelo
Yeah.
Anthony.
Blake Griffin's hilarious.
So good.
Okay, so I think we beat that one to death. So for this one, what reality TV show competition would you want to be on, and which do you believe you would be the most successful at if they're different? I'm going to assume they're the same thing, or I'm gonna say that I'd be most successful at the one that I'd want to be on, which I think is Survivor.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'd have to talk to people, which isn't my desired day. Day to day is talking to people, but I don't know. I can put on a good facade. I can put on a good face. I do for work all the time. So
There you go.
so I feel like I could play Survivor pretty well. I feel like I'm athletic enough where I can get through the challenges, but also not be like the main person with a target on their back to get voted
Right.
off because I'm too good at challenges. Like I'm kind of right there in that sweet spot, and I think I can play chess, not checkers, at the right level to be successful in Survivor, and I also think it'd be a lot of fun. So plus I'd lose some weight, and that's a great
True.
little effect of Survivor is eating
Yeah.
rice for 30 days.
Same kind of thought process. I would take Big Brother. Because again, like the challenges aren't as physically demanding. And if I think I could play that role of win enough challenges to get me the things that I need or keep me out of the bad positions. But, I'm not going to be dominating them. But if I have to win a challenge, I like my odds with a lot of people. And then that game is such a social aspect, which I think I can play really well, but also not so much scheming that I get in trouble and everyone's like, man, this guy's scheming a lot. Let's get him out of here. Like, I think I could toe that
Right.
line and do that social side pretty well. So I'll take Big Brother for me.
Yeah, I can see you doing all their weddings on the show.
That's true. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna just be the third wheel on this, and I'd go the challenge because
Nice.
it is a little bit of everything, which I feel like I could do pretty well in that as far as like athletically. I'm pretty good at math, memorization. It has like all these little skills, all the little games that like fare well to pretty much like anybody. So I think I could fare well in that aspect.
Nice.
I don't even know what the challenge is. Never heard of
really?
it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
You don't know what CT is?
Shout out
Poor kid.
Amazing Race, something I could never do because I have a horrible sense of direction.
Or negative afraid?
Yeah, I don't think I could do the Amazing Race.
So the next question, backing off a little bit from the thoughtful ones, is a hot dog a sandwich? So I will go first here and say that every food item, and I stole this from Mythical Josh from Mythical Kitchen, but every food item can be labeled a soup, a sandwich, or a salad. And yes, a hot dog is a sandwich. It is 2 pieces of bread with meat in the middle. It's a sandwich. Absolutely
Wrong,
pure none.
but I'm very happy that you have that take, but you're wrong. No, a hot dog is a taco. So you've got two
I would
sides of
agree,
it.
and a taco is a
And
sandwich.
Incorrect. So the bottom is connected. No, higher level. A hot dog is a taco. It's not a sandwich. You need a gap between the bread. And do you have the Pop-Tart one on there as well that I had brought up? Because
Yes.
so I was going to say, can we
It's
lean
on
into
here
that
later.
right now too?
Nope. Shut
Fine.
up.
Okay.
We're going in
I
order.
just wanted to see. So for right now, then I will just flat out say, nope, a hot dog, if you're going to call it anything other than its own self as a hot dog, you got to call it a taco.
I think it's technically a sandwich because it's like a sub if you just eat it vertically, you know?
That's a good point. Is a
Oh,
sub
man.
taco or a
Oh.
sandwich, Jeremiah?
Damn it.
Your
No,
argument
you're right.
just fell right apart.
Yeah, no, I guess
Oops.
I guess you're right. All right. Well, I guess I
They're
got to
all
go back to the
sandwiches.
drawing board because I can't fight that. You're right. You're right.
That was a good point, Dave. I hadn't even thought
Yeah.
about that.
Nailed it.
Okay, so sticking on food related, what would be your death row meal? I am far too vain, and I would be cooking my entire death row meal. It would be a steak
Oh
prepared by
my
myself,
God.
It's the lamest thing
scallops
ever.
prepared by myself, and palm puree. So mashed potatoes, but like fancy mashed potatoes, prepared by myself. So a little surf and turf. Don't need any veggies if it's my death row meal. You know, throw all the
True.
butter in.
Yeah, I'm going to say either it'd have to be one of two things. One of them's a lame cop-out answer, but I'm going to say it anyway. One of them would be, and I don't really care who makes it. Like, find me one of the best chefs in the world to make it. I don't really care, but give me a
You
nice
got it. I'll
big
make it for you.
country fried steak, which is funny because it's one of the cheapest cuts of meat that you could possibly get because you use like a flank steak or something with it. So, yeah, give me a country fried steak with a bunch of mashed potatoes and some corn or peas or whatever thrown in there. I don't care. Definitely some bread with butter, and I'll probably take a mudslide with that too. That would make me pretty happy.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Yeah, and then the other answer too, and I know it sounds like a cop out, but one of my all-time favorite meals ever is a pretty simple chicken dish that my wife makes. It is just out of this world. It I don't know, it's something about the sauce. She makes it, she makes it in the cast iron pan, and the way that everything comes together is just delicious, and I could eat it forever and ever, over and over. Um, it's just my favorite thing in the world. So one of those two things would be great.
That was
I
a
know what I'm asking to be made for me next time I'm over your house. So,
Yeah,
Caitlin,
you're gonna need it.
be prepared.
You might be
Dave,
disappointed though, man. That was a beautiful answer.
Mhm.
I'd probably go with a nice smoked brisket. You know, has to
Nice.
be perfectly juicy and tender, and yeah. And with last meal would definitely involve green beans from Texas Roadhouse. I don't know what the heck they do to them. They're the best green
Butter.
beans.
Butter. Lots of butter.
So much butter.
No, but it's
So
also
much
like
butter.
the bacon. They do something with the bacon, and they cook it with the green beans.
Butter.
In butter.
Yeah, but
You're right though. Their green beans are out of this world.
I get them every time. Here to die
Yep.
for.
So
Ha-
I actually. Oh, go ahead, Jim.
No,
No,
I'm just
he's fine.
laughing at his pun for to die for, but
Oh, yeah.
you know.
So I follow a lot of cooking channels on YouTube, and there was a barbecue channel, and they just smoked like a chuck roast as if it were a brisket, and they were like,
Ooh.
"This is way better than a brisket," which makes sense because the only reason they started smoking and barbecuing brisket is because it's so tough if you cook it any other way. That's the only way
Right.
it breaks down. So if you cook something that breaks down easier, it might be better. So Dave, I
fair.
knew you smoke some
I
meat
thought it had
sometimes.
to be
Maybe try
like
that.
ready at like a chuck roast was like rare at 145 like everything else. I thought that was the idea behind it.
So it is. I mean, they're all rare and medium rare.
Yeah,
and-
but like brisket has like the fat in it that renders at like it's like
Right.
190 degrees or whatever, and that's
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
like is
So
chuck
chuck
roast like
roast has
that.
some of that intermuscular as opposed to intramuscular fat. Yeah, and chuck roast has some of that too, like woven into it too. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
Let's
I
try
guess
it then.
a little
Report
bit
back.
more for.
Yeah, it sounds good.
But
And
I
then,
will.
at some point, I'll have to have you guys over for Caitlin's Tuscan chicken.
Absolutely. And I will play off of Jeremiah. I forgot to say a drink. So Dave, think of a drink because you didn't either.
Yeah, let me guess, a
But
dirty
since you said
martini with
mudslide,
Belvedere vodka.
I will say
Shocker.
a dirty martini made by me. with Belvedere vodka.
Yeah, we know. Grow up.
Dude, I'll go
Take your
PG.
olive juice with you.
I'll just go chocolate milk.
I love that for
There you
you.
go.
Chocolate milk's bomb.
Nice. Good work.
This next one, I wonder if we're gonna sweep it purely for selfish reasons. So that was a clarification by the person who submitted the question. What
Okay.
sport do you hope your kids play? So purely for selfish reasons. So by that, I'm not taking into account injury possibilities. So I'm gonna go football. Like I would love my sons to play football. They'll definitely play flag football. They might not play tackle football just because of the injury possibilities. But I'm
Yep.
taking that out of this question because of the clarification of for selfish reasons. And I'll say football. It's the greatest sport ever created, best sport to play.
Yep.
So football, straight up.
I would say out of all my favorite sports that I played and everything, yeah. I mean, right, taking injury aside and getting that out altogether, nothing builds camaraderie like football. It's such a team mentality. There's so many life lessons to be learned in it. Like, other sports that I played, basketball is so incredibly selfish. Like, yes, you're on a team, but it's like, it's a totally different vibe. You don't have to like the people next to you and you can still play kind of well and whatever. It's just totally different. So yeah, I'll go football for sure.
Yeah, selfishly, I'd probably go football too. If it was any sport unselfishly, I'd definitely go baseball. But
I would go lacrosse for mine. It's
Oh,
just the
I
right
mean,
amount
you
of
still have
balance
the
of
injury
like,
possibility there.
yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's the right balance of like having to play as a team, but having to have like build up your own individual skills. And then there's also a toughness where you're getting whacked with a stick. So it's like, you got to be tough to play the game. So I'd say, yeah, if I couldn't go football, I'd probably say lacrosse.
yeah, baseball
For
players are
sure.
soft.
True.
Soft. We'll talk about that later.
I was gonna say we might get into that later. So next question. What book, what movie, and what TV show would you recommend that you recently enjoyed? So for book, um, I'm gonna have to say I'll correct myself on last week's podcast. I said that it was The Psychology of Money, where they talked about kind of that sales situation that Jeremiah talked about with the blender sunglasses. It
Yep.
wasn't The Psychology of Money, which is a great book. It was actually Dollars and Cents, which is also a great book.
Fair.
So I will say Dollars and Cents. That's a book that I read semi recently that I really enjoyed. There's others. I read a lot of money books. That's pretty much the only thing I read. What movie? Actually, my wife told me, to my absolute surprise, 2 days ago that she had never seen Wedding Crashers. So we
Whoa.
just
That's
watched
crazy.
Wedding Crashers, which is such a great movie. So it's not a new movie that I recently watched, but just a movie that I saw recently again, and was able to enjoy. And that there's so many funny parts about that movie that I had completely forgotten. Like Will Ferrell being in the movie at all, I had forgotten.
Yep.
He's hilarious in it in just such a small role. And then lastly, TV show. Be in between two for me. We just started watching TV shows again since my second was born, so we're catching back up on everything we missed. So either A Night of the Seven Kingdoms or The Pit.
Nice.
So The Pit's great.
Yep.
Really got into that heavy and can't wait for season 3.
Yeah, I like the pit a lot. We have been watching it too. It's like it's a little tough for me because I do like one of my favorite TV shows of all time now is Ted Lasso, and part of it is because of how amazing it is. Part of it is because I can just kind of turn my brain off a little bit and watch it, and I don't have to get too high or too low. But there's plenty of emotional parts of it too. It's like it's that perfect mix. The pit gives me so much anxiety when I'm watching that show.
Yes.
It's just like if sometimes I'll watch it and then turn the TV off and it's like, all right, time to go to bed. And I'm just be laying there for 10 minutes with my eyes wide open. So it's a lot, but it's a good pick. I guess for TV show, I'd probably say Pluribus. Um, really, really good. Liked it a whole bunch. So that would be a good recommendation for people. And like some people I've noticed have a hard time getting past the first episode because the concept is just so wildly different from most things that we've seen on TV. But once you make it past there, it's like it is a little slow, but it picks up fast enough. It's not, there are some things where it's you literally can't get through. You're 3 episodes in and nothing's happened and you can't handle it because it's so slow. It's not that. So Pluribus would be my TV show. As far as a book goes, I would probably say Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. It's part of the Hunger Games books. That's the latest one, talking about Hey Mitch's story and everything. So that was the most recent book that I read, and I just really enjoyed it a lot. I just like her style of writing, and that universe is just really fun. And then for movies, um, I I don't know. So I'm the kind of person where it seems like every time I watch a critically acclaimed, highly voted upon movie, I just kind of go, eh. It's just like whatever. I don't see it, and it's too much of like the reading the Great Gatsby in high school, and the teacher's like, what do you think the green light symbolizes? It's like, oh my god, get off of it. I don't care. So I like something that's just like a little bit easier and right in your face and whatever. So with that being said, um, uh, maybe a cop out. But if you don't have kids, probably don't listen to this because it'd be kind of weird. But like Zootopia 2 kind of rips. It's it's a really fun movie. Like I genuinely, it is really good. And same thing with like a lot of like Bad Guys and Bad Guys 2. Really good series, really funny. A lot of good jokes for adults in there too that are going over the kids' heads. So like don't sleep on some of these kid shows. If you have kids and they're like, "Oh, I want to watch a movie," like don't tune out and be on your phone. Actually watch it because a lot of them are really good.
For sure. Sing's great.
Sting's
Just
great.
before we go over to Dave, a couple things on the pit. Like they purposely made it so that there's no like outro music like during the scene so that it's more and like anxiety inducing, which is just
Oh,
absolutely crazy.
good work.
Um but yeah, it's a nuts TV show. I love Ted Lasso too, so that's a good call out.
True.
Dave, over to you.
So yeah, I'm a little bit with JMO and in agreement with kids movies nowadays. That was my winter was watching like pretty much every Pixar movie that I
Yep.
can. But as far as like a more recent movie, I would say the last Top Gun was really, really good.
Yes.
And to be able to like kind of have a movie in the 80s and come back like 30 years after, 30, 35 years and
And
still
be that
hit the
good.
nail on
Yeah.
the head with everything and deliver,
Yep.
that's pretty impressive. And it is a really good movie.
True.
Um, last book, I don't read a whole lot of books. The last book I read was a Colin Coward book, so I really enjoyed that. But just more about sports and how he looks at sports because he's kind of like an interesting guy if you watch like some of his stuff. Um, TV show, I would have to go. I would say like all the Game of Thrones stuff, but Reacher right now is probably in my top three. There's
Reacher's
a
fun.
decent amount of seasons out right now, but I like Al Richson. He's a great actor. He's Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State, which is
Huge.
absolutely hilarious when
Yeah.
you compare him and like in that character versus Reacher because they're
Yeah.
opposite ends of the spectrum. But
For sure.
yeah, I definitely go with Reacher. And the last season was based in Maine, so that's kind of fun.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's a good pick. Have you guys seen Project Hail Mary? That's one where I
No.
haven't seen it, and I can almost guarantee if I watched it, I would tell everybody to go and watch it. I feel like I would love it. So, I almost wanna pick that even though I haven't even seen it. So there's that.
Yeah. One thing I will say, so JMO, you and I in a different group chat, we were talking about Pluribus, and I was complaining. So Pluribus hasn't even began filming season 2 yet, and
Correct.
they started, or they finished airing season 1. I don't know, like in December, I think. It's been
Yeah.
a while since they finished airing season 1, so that just pisses me off. Just talking about modern TV shows, as there's like 2 to 3 year gaps in between seasons now. It's just like it's so easy to
Yep.
get out. Like House of the Dragon is coming out. I think it's this month, June.
Yeah, like June
I don't
19th, I
even
think,
remember how season
21st.
2 ended. Yeah, I
The
I,
guy
I have
from Doctor
no
Who's
clue.
in it. I remember that.
Well, Damon was just in
That's about
Harrenhal
it.
the whole time, tripping balls, so that's
True.
Yeah,
fun.
like I remember stuff like that. I just mean like I don't know. It's happened with me before where I'm like, oh, didn't it end on this cliffhanger? And like that cliffhanger is from the season before because
Yeah.
it's just
Yep.
there's so long in between them now, and that's just
I'm with
annoying.
you.
And then another book series that I recently enjoyed is the Fourth Wing book series, which is totally not part of this podcast.
I started it,
Definitely.
but didn't get through it because life, but I will.
Yeah. No, I think it's worth it. It's a little hard to get into maybe as like from the masculine side, but my sister recommended it, so I took
And
that to
she's a
heart
guy, so.
and really wound up really wound up enjoying it. Other sister. So
Oh, okay. Well, she's a guy, so.
that's a deep cut. So our next question is, what sports stadium is on your bucket list to visit? So I grew up as a huge baseball fan, like before um before really falling in love with football or a lot of other sports. I was a baseball fan first and foremost. So I think just for the history of it and how long I've looked, it would probably be Wrigley. Just because that's one of those older stadiums. They have like the cool thing about baseball is every stadium's different as opposed to or every ballpark's
Right.
different as opposed to like NFL stadiums and the like. So I'd love to go to Wrigley and just I don't know, probably sit on an outfield wall and touch some ivy. That'd be pretty cool.
I could see you doing that too.
Yeah.
I would.
This is going to come to a surprise to nobody, but mine's going to be the New Orleans St. Caesars Superdome. I would love to see a football game there.
Only you.
Easy
Only
peasy.
you would say that.
Yeah.
I'd stick to football. It would either be AT&T Stadium, which is the Cowboys, Jerry's
Yep.
World. It's just, I guess, it's just insane. It's like a amusement park in the state. It's like
Yeah.
it's just everything that can be anything. But I'll go with Lambeau Field
Nice.
just because every person I know that's been there says it's amazing. And it's like in this little neighborhood, and then there's a giant stadium in the middle of it, because it's owned by, it doesn't have an owner, it's owned by the fans. So
Right.
that's kind of cool
Yep.
in itself.
That is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been my second, that or like Soldier Field, but
Rip.
definitely wanted to go with a ballpark there. I know. And I would follow Jeremiah's suit and pick the Chargers Cotton Stadium, except it was built like 2 years ago, so that's kind of lame. This next
You'd
one,
be the
who
only
could do
fan.
Wordle. Who could do Wordle the fastest?
Me.
Yeah, probably you. I'm not necessarily. I'm much better with numbers than I am with letters. Like I'm not good at like bananagrams or Scrabble or games like that. So probably not me. I'd probably say
It,
Gemma.
I'd
it would
probably
be
say
worth
Gemma.
mentioning if we're just talking about the fastest, like it doesn't matter how many guesses if you get it in 6 guesses, or are we talking about fastest, like the least amount of guesses?
I think fastest number of guesses.
Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah. The problem that I struggle with is I've got a buddy at work that consistently beats me at Wordle. And the reason is because he's just willing to take more risks. Like his second guess will have 3 vowels and 2 of the same consonants. And then every once in a while he'll get it right. And I'm just like, my brain won't allow me to do that. Like I will consistently get it in 4 guesses when I'm really trying, unless I know he did it better and I'm trying to beat him. I'll consistently get it in like 4 guesses and sometimes 3 because I'm just playing the game of like eliminating as many letters as possible.
Optimization game. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Same. That's the
Yeah.
same way I play it. Like can't repeat them, can't. And then did you
Yeah.
play the hard mode where you have to?
Yes.
So if you get
You
a
have
letter
to.
in the right place, you have to
Yeah.
keep it in the same place, and you can't.
That's
Yeah,
way more
okay.
fun. The
Agreed.
people who do it the other way is just like you're a child. Grow up.
Yes. Agreed.
Just by that answer alone from JMO, I am choosing him.
Yeah.
I get this guy I play with at
dude,
work all the time.
I love Wordle. I love Connections. Nobody's beating me at Connections, that's for sure.
I hate
My brain is
connections.
made
I
for
hate
it.
connections with a passion.
My brain is absolutely made for it. I love it.
I'm in a group
Nice.
chat with my wife and her parents, and
My
they
wife.
do connections every day, and I refuse to do it because I did it for the longest time, and then I'm just like, there's only so many times that I can take. There is the connection between these 4 words on here, but that's not the connection, and that just pisses me right off.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not
The
even
trick.
obviously sometimes you're getting tricked up by like the super easy one, but I'm saying
Right.
like I'm finding like a second level deep. Like I think the one that finally like threw it in for me was it was like all the swimming strokes. So it was like butterfly, breaststroke, free stroke, backstroke. And they were all there. Like it was back, butter, breast, free.
Yep.
And that wasn't it. And that just finally threw me. I'm like, I'm not playing a game where you're trying
Nice.
to
Trick
yeah.
and trap. Yeah. Fair.
So this next question, if you could go pro in any sport, which would you choose? So just purely off. So I thought about this one a little bit, and I was thinking baseball off rip because they make so much damn money. It's not that hard. But then their season is grueling.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say soccer because they can also make a ton of money. And their pussies. And
That's rude. How dare you?
and they like barely ever play for a non-contact sport. So I'm taking soccer.
See, that's not really, I mean, they play a lot of games because you've got your regular games, your World Cup games, especially if you're in other countries, you're playing at all kinds of different cups and tournaments and everything that goes with that, plus all the practices for your club team and your country and all these other things. So too
Talking
much
about
work for me.
practice.
Yeah, we're talking about practice. I feel like I want to say golf, but it feels like every weekend for like your entire life, right? So that's tough. But at the same time, like, yeah, football only has
We
17
said sport.
games. That's true. Uh, Football only has 17 games, but you're training for a good part of the year. But I think what sport has the largest off season? Football's probably up there, right? So,
Yeah, it probably is.
but you know what? Screw all that. I'm going to go with golf. Man, give me golf as my professional job. I just go out and hit some balls around. Let's go. Give me golf.
Okay, so I'll
Put it
choose
over to
something
you.
different. I'll choose NBA. Choose that basketball. I
Nice.
think it'd be so cool to be
82
like,
games. Ugh.
yeah, but I mean, it's October to June if you make the playoffs and all that. Other than that, it's really not that bad.
That's
But
true.
if you're like halfway decent on a garbage team, like you're treated like a god,
That's
which
true.
I don't know. And then if you're like really good on like a really good team and you're the reason, then again, like just tenfold of how you're treated by the city. I feel like,
Good point.
and then you get like more endorsement deals because like everybody sees your face and all that compared to like NFL players. So
Yeah.
yeah, I choose
Nice.
basketball.
Good word.
Yeah, looking back on it, I'd probably choose something like golf too if I was considering that a sport. Not that I mean it is a sport, but like I don't know, that's not the way I took the question. I took it more as like kind of one of the team sports, like one of the major sports. But I'll
Shut up.
appreciate your ingenuity and thought prowess there, JMO, and
Thanks.
allow me to take it. So our next question. This was a little bit more of a thinker. So if you had to pick up your football team and move it to a different city or market, which would you pick and why? So for me, naturally, I'd love to move the Los Angeles Chargers to the
San
backyard of the
Diego.
Bill's house Chargers.
Yeah.
So like the New Hampshire Chargers, and we don't have sales tax or income tax, so I could lure people to come to New Hampshire because of that. But that's not what I actually chose. If I could be selfish, that's what I would choose. But you know what I thought would be kind of fun, and this is kind of playing on what you were talking about with the Green Bay Packers. Uh, Playing in Wisconsin in the middle of nowhere. I think like a Wyoming team would be really fun and like have it like based just right outside of Yellowstone and like call them like the Old Faithful or something. And then, I'm the money guy, so I have to talk about this. Wyoming also no income tax. So you could you could be able to draw people in. So to be completely honest, I did start my search by which states have no income tax and then narrowed it down to like I didn't want to move them to a Florida or a Texas or a Vegas who already have teams. So
Yeah.
Wyoming seemed like the best fit for a team remaining that I thought would be pretty cool, and you could name them after some Yellowstone, like Old Faithful or something.
That's fun. I also did a little bit of like, you know, thinking about this when I saw this question. Most of these questions we didn't put a lot of thought into, but I wanted to make sure I gave a good answer on this one. It was like I kind of started to narrow down like, okay, I want it in the southern part of the United States because I want it to be warm. I don't want to move my team somewhere that they have to combat snow and whatever. Like I want them to be able to go outside and practice every single day, realistically. So that eliminates a bunch of teams. Then I don't want them anywhere near Miami. I don't want them anywhere near Vegas. I don't want them anywhere near California. I do not want all the added distractions. So then, kind of closing it in even more, like where can people go? Where can I have a team where they can practice in warm weather that the guys are not going to just get in trouble because they can go 2 or 3 hours away and cause some issues. So with that, I kind of narrowed it down to two places, which would be Kansas City or one of the Carolinas where the Panthers play in North Carolina, something like that. And then with those two options, if it's my team, I'm going to pick the Carolinas because it's on the coast and it gives me more options for golfing and fishing and all that other stuff. So I'm just thinking in terms of like team success where you can just focus on football because you're not right next to Miami or Vegas or whatever in warm weather. So yeah, give me the Carolinas.
Yeah, it's not a good pick. So if I were to choose a team already existing, I know it's not really the question. So I got like a couple options because initially what came to my
It
mind
says
is like
your football team. So this is the
my football
Patriots.
team. I've been to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is such a cool city. And it's like a little peninsula and there's a bunch of bridges to get in. And it's just like it's not giant. It's pretty small, which also like adds the cool factor. It's super blue collar. Everybody loves Pittsburgh, like the Steelers, like black and yellows everywhere in the city. It's not like Boston where it's like nobody really cares about the Patriots. Like everybody there like loves the Steelers. So that would be an option. Another option for me would just be anywhere in Utah. Utah is a beautiful state. Anywhere you
There you
got
go.
views everywhere. You know, like some part of it's like desert, some part of it's forest. It's a pretty cool state. So I think either or those two would be my options.
There you go. Yeah, if you pick Utah, you don't have to worry about a Batman villain blowing up the football stadium too. So that's good.
Yeah.
No, but you do have to worry about the Mormons.
Or do
I'm
you?
not worried.
That could be my team name.
The
The Utah
Soakers.
Soakers. Yeah, we did it. We did it. Same brain. That's funny.
There isn't anything else I
Quick.
actually had for this week that I was gonna do that touches on something
Oh,
like
God.
something around that, but we're not doing anything else this week, so I will save it for next week.
Me and
Okay.
Jeremiah are
That's
broken
hilarious.
equally.
It's true.
So this next one, name a TV, movie, or cartoon character that describes each of, or that is kind of like each of your co-hosts. Um, hmm. So like I said, most of these we tried not to do some thought. Maybe this is one of the ones I should have shot over to you guys for a little bit extra thought. Because actually, now that I'm
Thanks.
reading it, I don't even have a great one. I'm gonna go for JMO. I'm gonna give you, and don't take this as the bad way.
Oh, here we
'Cause
go.
it's gonna be a little offensive, but just know this is one of my favorite characters of all time. I'm gonna give you Better Call Saul.
Saul
And it's
Goodman.
because, yeah, Saul Goodman.
Okay.
It's because I feel like you and Saul just have the way, like the gift of gab, like the ability to talk
That's
your
fair.
way out of any situation. Uh, kind of, I guess he's a little bit more on the sleazy side, so maybe not make friends with anyone, but kind of like talk to anyone. Like Saul kind of could meet different people on their own level. And I feel
Yep.
like you do that extremely well. So maybe
Thanks,
not the
buddy.
negative sides of Saul, but the positive sides of Saul. Dave. Hmm. I'm
I
gonna
will
give you.
give myself Squidward.
That's nice.
No,
I
I'm
like
gonna
that.
give you. What the hell is his? Jeremy Renner's uh character from The Town. So kind of the.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Whose cow we
Did you
taking?
say
Kind of that.
Jim or
Yeah. Yeah.
Gem?
Exactly.
I like
You
Yeah.
got this one.
So.
This guy is a gem.
that.
So kind of that like, I don't know, that loyal guy, that kind of like blue collar loyal guy who's like, I don't know, always there when you need him. So JMO, over to you.
Thanks. All right. So for Bill, I'm gonna go with Caillou. Just because he doesn't have any hair. So
Go fuck
right off the rip,
yourself.
that feels pretty good and pretty safe there. I don't even feel bad for that. And then for Dave, I want to go with Bob from Bob's Burgers because it feels like David is just like constantly just like, there's so many people around him that just like kind of disappoints him and just like he looks at certain people and he's just kind of like, I don't understand. It's not that hard to just be better. And it's just like, Bob just has a burger shop and just wants to flip burgers and it's not that hard as long as everybody can just do their job and nobody can seem to do their job. So Dave gives off the vibes of like, guys, life isn't that hard. Just do what you're supposed to do, and everybody's going to be happy. Like, just get it together. So,
Consistent,
yeah,
That's what it's all
that's
about.
where I'm going.
Oh goodness, I don't know what to do. I'm looking at
You could,
characters right now.
well, I was going to say you could take my backup for Bill, which would be Krillin from Dragon Ball Z. He's
I don't
also
know who that
bald.
is either.
I'm gonna say this again, loud and clear for all the people. Go fuck yourself.
No. Okay, thank you.
Billy's like Ned Flanders.
Howdy ho, neighbor. that's that's so funny.
Flanders.
Oh man, I love that for you. Suck it, Bill.
I was gonna go Mr. Burns. But Ned
Nice.
just popped in
That's
my
probably
mind.
more accurate.
Mr. Burns.
Send him a
Is
hounds.
that accurate? Whatever.
It could be his little helper. What's his name?
Smithers.
Smithers.
Why am I a Simpsons character?
Because that's
I don't
what I
know.
grew up on. It's what I know.
Well, wouldn't that make me the that Willie the groundskeeper? Is that?
You could definitely be Willie. That's a good pull. Groundskeeper Willie
bad,
is
huh?
JMO. Yeah,
Perfect.
just always angry, just trying to clean up the school, yelling at kids. Like
Honestly, I'll
doing
take it.
groundkeeper things.
Sounds exactly like what JMO does.
Yeah. Oh man,
Flanders.
love it.
Okay, I take back everything nice I said about both of you during when I was talking about what
You
my
had to
guess
know
would
that's
be,
how it was
'cause-
gonna go.
Ned's a great guy.
Oh,
and nothing like me. And I was talking to people.
I
Fair.
diddle you.
Also, he's like hardcore religious.
yeah, same.
Anyway, absolutely. This next question is a Pop-Tart a sandwich? So I will echo what I said with the hot dog. All food can be categorized as soup, salad, or sandwich, and a Pop-Tart is a sandwich.
Okay, I will not be outdone by David on this one. I think I've dotted all my I's and crossed my T's. I got this one covered. A Pop-Tart is not a sandwich. Much like how I previously thought a hot dog was a taco, I'm going to say that a Pop-Tart is a calzone.
I would
Which is
agree.
not a
Which
sandwich.
is also a sandwich.
Wrong. Incorrect. Think bigger picture.
I don't think it is either, because like if you put a Pop-Tart in the microwave, which I guess you're supposed to, and then put the little glaze on, then like it's exposed to the elements. What sandwich is exposed?
Have you ever
like
heard
that?
of an open-faced sandwich?
Is a jelly donut a sandwich? Because that's essentially a Pop-Tart, but round.
Yes.
No, I hate you.
I feel like just say yes.
So, for all the people, since this was the last food-related, is it a sandwich question? There is a pretty funny reel out there from Mythical Josh, or Mythical Chef Josh, something about that, where he's talking about how everything is a sandwich, a salad, or a soup. Highly recommend going and listening to it, because he actually like throws a lot of funny concepts around why that is true.
Nice. All right.
So this next question, I feel like might be geared towards one of our specific co-hosts. Why do people start making fantasy trades 4 months before the season?
Yeah, so let me take this one for you.
As he's
Here's the
trading.
thing.
Currently,
Yeah, I'm like on my phone looking at trades right now. So especially this is obviously a dynasty question, right? Because that's the only time you're going to be able to trade this early. There are different times within the year that trades are happening because of the value of your assets, whether it's a draft pick, whether it's a player. You're trading on news of free agency, you're trading on news of the draft, or what you think will happen in the draft, things like that. So the reason that I'm trading way before the season starts is because I think I have an advantage that other people don't. My bread and butter is knowing so much about new prospects coming in, certain team needs at the time and contract situations and stuff like that. Let me just fix that real quick. And so it just like, that's the reason why, like, I'm trading early, because I think I have an advantage that other players don't have. Did I fix the camera? Hello? There we go.
I'm just being
So
an a-hole.
that's why I'm doing those trades early. Part of it, like sometimes it bites me in the butt. Like I remember I traded away Chase Brown a couple years ago because I thought for sure they were going to draft a running back that year. And then they didn't. And then the year after that, this year, they also didn't. So like that burns me. But as a whole, I have a better idea of what's going to happen with these players than everybody else does because nobody on the news or the the most basic news, if you're just Googling these players, like the information isn't coming up to your standard person who's waiting for the league to start. You're already months behind on the news. So that's why I'm trading early, because I think I have an advantage at that point in time compared to other people.
In other words, long story short, if you ever have a trade proposal coming in from Jeremiah, he's trying to fleece you, and you should deny
Facts.
off rip.
It's true.
I have nothing to add, as the resident doesn't actually play fantasy football until this year in the Context Miners podcast, Fantasy Football League. I haven't played in like 10 years. So, Dave, anything to add to why would somebody make fantasy trades 4 months before the season?
No, I don't do dynasty leagues yet. I do want to, but yeah, like Jeremiah said, I'd believe that if you find prospects like you have been doing your own research on and you want to get them at a good value, then the off season is like a good place to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, and the
Before
only
they
other thing
start
I'd say-
exploding.
The only other thing I'd say, if you're agreeing to a dynasty league, it's a 365-day a year fantasy football league, in my opinion. You're agreeing to start your own franchise essentially, just from a fantasy perspective. So it shouldn't even be 4 months before the season. It should be always. But that's my own opinion as someone who does not and has no desire to do dynasty leagues.
Fair.
This next question, would you punt from your own 36-yard line? So I guess the easiest answer here is it depends. Like, what's the actual down and distance situation? But as a rule of thumb, absolutely you should be punting from your own 36-yard line. Unless it's like 4th and inches and you have Derrick Henry or Tush Push on your side, like your own 36 is a pretty easy call to punt it away.
Unless
Yeah.
they mean your opponent's 36.
No, they
and
don't.
then-
We clarified it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I asked for
No,
clarification.
I even a 4th and inches. I'm a big field position guy, and I, as much as I like analytics, I really like field position. So even 4th and inches, like if I don't feel like I have a good package for it, I am punting it away.
Yeah. So me, punt most of the time. It just reminds me of the game back in the day, Brady versus Peyton Manning, Patriots, Colts, and then it was like fourth quarter shootout game. Patriots went for it. Somewhere around there, it was like 4th and 2, and they like did a little out with Kevin Falk, and he got stuffed.
I remember
like-
that. Yeah.
And then, Peyton Manning gets it and scores instantly, and they win the game. But the argument was, if we get that, we can milk the clock, and that we win the game. So it's
Yep.
pretty much like who has the ball last in that aspect. So I guess that's your kind of argument, is if it's like 2 juggernauts and it's a shootout, and you know who's going to touch the ball last wins. Yeah, you
Right.
might have to go for it in that circumstance.
Yeah, there's a time and a place. That's why I start with it depends. But I feel like as a
Yep.
rule of thumb, your own 36 is pretty heavy in the. That's
Yeah,
not
now if-
that no man's
gonna
net
say-
land territory between like the 45 to 45. It's kind of
Yeah,
like.
but there's been
you
plenty of
punt, you
times
know.
where on that down and distance, we've seen Dan Campbell on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, just go for it. So,
Yeah.
it's not unheard of, but I wouldn't want it.
Agreed. Okay, so this next question: Oprah, Michelle Obama, and Barbara Walters. Marry one, kill one, love one. So I am going to preempt David and tell him not to say anything bad about our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, because I feel
She's
like
got a
he
dick.
might have some.
There it is.
Allegedly. That's what they say.
So, as Bill tries to recover from that, I've got my answers locked and loaded. Mine's easy.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so Michelle Obama is easily the most attractive out of all of these, even if she is a guy. I don't care. That doesn't bother me a bit. However, I'm going to marry Oprah because she has the most amount of money and it's not even close. And then from there, I am going to love Walters for diversity. And then I'm going to this is setting me up for failure because I was literally just about to say I'll kill Michelle Obama, and I can't say that on a podcast, but you know what I mean for the game. for the
She
game
thought
goes,
it was
just a little
you.
diversity thing. But
Okay.
so I'll go with that. But I definitely want to preface it with I do think that Michelle Obama is fairly attractive, even if she is a
Okay.
guy.
So even saying kill right there, obviously, yeah, who you're saying you killed, that's technically, I don't know, could be considered a crime. Another thing it could be considered a crime is you just admitted to necrophilia of Barbara Walters, who is dead.
Oh,
It's
So
fine
I'm gonna go with kill.
prime.
I'm gonna go with kill one with Barbara Walters.
because she's
And
already
I'm
dead.
gonna follow Jeremiah's theory behind marrying Oprah for the money and loving Michelle Obama, who David, don't say it again.
She'd love you.
Over to you.
There it is. I was thinking it.
My list is the same as JMO's, except Michelle could probably kill me 'cause she's 5'11" and
True.
like 225.
She's strong. There's a
Yeah.
reason she was putting in a whole thing for the entire country to get kids healthier. Like she could do it. She is a juggernaut.
That's right.
Nice.
Oh, Dave. How did
Well,
I
this
know
was a
that
fun
was gonna be
podcast to
one of
have
your
with you
cookie
guys.
corners?
We made it a good
That's
run,
what gets
22
us canceled.
episodes. That's pretty good.
Maybe that'll be the cookie corner next week.
Just don't make it a short and post it. Maybe we can just glaze over this whole thing.
Yeah, right.
I do know that. Never mind, I'm not gonna add it.
Nice.
So, besides football or sports in general, what is something else random that each of you knows too much about? So I'm gonna say this because it's not my job, even though I work in finance, but I work in a different area of finance. I'm just gonna say personal finance. I know way too much about personal finance, so super interested in it. Always have been super, or maybe not always, but since I was in my early 20s, always been super interested in it. And yeah, just I don't know, the knowledge in that area can compound, no pun intended. So
Mine is easily music. You can play just about, I mean, there is a huge range of songs that you can play from almost any decade, something that came out in the 60s or something that came out 2 days ago. And I'll tell you the artist, the album that it was on. I'm a big music guy. So definitely I know too much about music and, all the words to every song, all the ad libs in between the words, like big, big music listener over here.
Nice. I'd have to
Yeah.
go with like probably cars, trucks, motorcycles, stuff like that. I know a little bit way too much about some of that stuff. And then what I do for work, which is like pavers, retaining walls, stuff like that. Just like why you do this, why you do that, why use this material, what's the benefit, yada yada. So a little bit like dive deep into that stuff as well.
Nice.
fair enough. Although I can't believe the guy who chose a G wagon and a Rolls Royce a couple episodes is gonna bring up the cars and trucks.
Comfort. No, a G Wagon is so heavy that you can write it off at an insane value. So
Yes.
But
over.
You
Yeah.
think I don't know that? Remember what we
yeah.
just talked about? Yeah.
That's a good point.
It,
Personal finance, baby.
and it's not that you can write it off at an insane value. It's called accelerated depreciation. So you can take the write off
Right.
all in 1 year. The value is the same. You just get to write it off all in the first year as opposed to writing it off over time, which is
Yep.
traditional with vehicles. So our next question. Who do you predict to win the World Cup this summer? Is there a surprise team you think could make a deep run? Despite choosing to go pro in soccer earlier in this episode, I couldn't give a crap about the World Cup. No offense to this listener.
Such a coward.
I'm not a soccer guy at all. I love Ted Lasso, and that's as close. Oh, and Green Street Hooligans, and that's as close as you'll get
Oh
to
my
see
God.
me actually care about a soccer game. So, who do I predict to win? Well, I think the betting favorite is Spain. So Spain, and a dark horse. I just googled that, and it came up with Ecuador. So I will pick Ecuador. Other than
Nice.
that, I apologize to this specific viewer. No real knowledge. So I will pass it off to Jeremiah, who actually does enjoy the worst sport that gets any publicity in soccer.
I do enjoy soccer. Yeah. I mean, for me, I think it's got to be France. France's roster is just so solid all the way around. It's as long as they have to be able to play together. That's the biggest thing. But as far as individual talent, I mean, you've got Mbappe, You've got Cherokee, you've got Dembele, you've got Mbappe, you've got Kante, Elise, Mbappe, William Saliba, Koundé, Thuram, Kylian
Mbappe.
Mbappe. So yeah, I mean, like, that's the big thing, right? Like their individual players are just so talented, and they should be able to put it together, regardless of what group they're in, whatever. Because I'm sure they're gonna have a lot of competition in their group. So I just think that it's theirs to lose. I think that they are just such a complete and talented team from an individual perspective. Um, and it doesn't take a lot for them to, they can mask a lot of um, inefficiencies as a team just with their individual talents. So that's my pick for the World Cup. And then as far as a dark horse team, I really like Japan, um, which is a popular dark horse team to pick. But specifically, last World Cup, they finished top of their group in 2022, and that was a group that had Germany and Spain in it. So for them to kind of come out of nowhere and play at such a high level, I think they got bounced in the round of 16, maybe, but they at least have the ability to. I don't think there's any chance of them really winning the World Cup, but I think they could make a really deep run. Um, Endo, Kubo, Tomiyasu, Kamada, they have a lot of really talented players. So I like Japan, um, and we'll have to see how if they get a really tough group again, it might be a little bit more difficult. But that's going to be my pick for a dark horse is Japan.
Yeah, I
You're
totally
welcome.
agree with
You
you.
can wake up now.
I'll tell you, the losers are football NFL players because they're like, we want to play on real grass, and they're like, no, it's pretty tough to do. You can't just like take out artificial turf and put in real. World Cup comes to Foxborough or Gillette. What do? Like take out the fake grass and put in real grass because soccer players have to play on real
Yep.
grass. It's like unbelievable. What are we doing?
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
it's good
anything that
to,
causes less injuries is fine by me.
and it's hard to consistently, flop and dive and take
Here
unnecessarily
we go.
unnecessary falls on artificial turf. It hurts more. So, SGA should probably be playing on some
Yeah.
grass too.
There you go. That's where it is. Yeah. Okay.
Worst place you've ever taken a shit. So I I'm gonna say, and this is just like a generic answer that I've had to do a couple times in my life, and it's definitely still the worst place. It's just any porta potty, especially like when it's hot outside in the sun. Just the
Yep.
worst, absolute worst. And then, but I'll also combo it with a story. So if you've never been unfortunate enough to have to throw up in an airplane bathroom, I feel so happy for you. I got a horrible stomach bug on my way back from Florida one time. And like it hit me as late as the first time I had to get sick and the first time I even realized I was sick. I was already on like the bus to the airport. And then I spent about 70% of the flight telling the flight attendants and the people around me that oh no, I just get motion sickness just to try to not to freak anybody out, and then spent most of that ride in the airplane bathroom, and that is a disgusting place to have to be curled up alongside a toilet. So
Yeah,
I
that's
would
gross.
combo that with that story since I just had a generic answer of a porta potty.
Nice. Well, mine's pretty simple. I feel like a lot of people can relate to it, and if you say that you can't, then you either didn't go outside enough, or I just don't believe you. But you guys remember where I lived in New Ipswich? Um, Wheeler Pond was like off of my road, and you just cut through the woods a little bit. So I would always go messing around there, and looking for frogs and snakes and stuff. One time I was out pretty far. I was like probably, I don't know, 12, 13, and I had to poop real bad, and I was not making it back to the house. So there I was in the woods taking a Duke, and did I have to use some of Mother Nature's leaves for some whiteage? Did I have to? No. Did I? Yeah. I was pretty sure it wasn't poison ivy. And but yeah, it was hot. It was the middle of summer. I was very sweaty, and I pooped in the woods. And that's something I really don't ever want to have to do again. So that's probably
That's
the worst.
better than a porta potty. Like hands
You
down,
might
that's
be
better than a
right.
porta potty. I've done that like 20 times. That's better than a porta potty.
That's all right. You are not a very good planner if you're pooping in the woods 20 times. That's crazy. I have pooped in an outhouse, and that was pretty gross.
Maybe not 20 times. Maybe that's enough, but
I would
or
hope so.
an
That's a lot.
exaggeration. But I definitely have pooped outside before, and it is 10 times better, if not more, than a porta potty in the
That's
summer,
crazy.
especially. Dave,
Yeah. I'm pretty desensitized because I poop in a porta potty all the time because I do construction. It's all commercial work. So Billy can be right. Like if it's a hot summer day and they don't get cleaned out, like we had this job we always talk about in Attleboro, Mass, and there's a porta potty like that didn't get cleaned for months on like one side of the job. It was like landlocked to not get cleaned, and it was the only one accessible on like the back side of the building to walk around. Took way too long, so it was like that thing was yeah,
Ugh,
it was
that's bad.
needed. But I pooped outside before. That wasn't too bad. You
did
know,
you
you
build
just
a
like
poop mountain in there?
yeah,
I
poop
just like
volcano.
Constantly caving
Yeah.
up.
I feel like I'm like afraid that when I'm in the woods that if I don't have a tree to stabilize myself on,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's what I did.
fall
I
over into
leaned on
it.
a tree. It was great.
Yeah. Okay.
I will kind of change this question a little. I will say though, anywhere with bad toilet paper is terrible place to poop.
Single ply toilet paper.
Facts.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
That's
just pooped
inhumane.
somewhere the other day and it was like so thin, like you use way more toilet paper just to
Yeah.
clean
Way less.
yourself.
Yeah.
And then
Agreed.
like a good brand and where you use way less, it's like it just makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
Yep. A lot of
Absolutely.
places I've worked all have single ply, and it's just bad.
Mhm.
Bad for business.
Agreed.
All right.
So this next one is best and worst dynasty trades and transactions. I'm just going to shorten it to best and worst trades and transactions in your fantasy football history because only Jeremiah here has played dynasty.
Yeah.
I actually, honestly, it's been over 10 years since I've had a trade, so I tried to think on this one pretty deep. I can't remember any individual trade, and I don't even remember the individual trade here. But I had a trade once where this was in an ultra competitive league. This league's actually one of the reasons I haven't played in 10 years. It was an ultra competitive league. I can't. I remember AJ Green was a piece of it, and I think I was supposed to get AJ Green. It was like a pretty fair trade, and we agreed to it, and then it got vetoed. It was like a majority of players veto, then they veto, or then the veto went out, and it was a pretty fair trade. It was like one of those where it was
Yeah.
some bench pieces where I was strong at a position and then I was getting a significant upgrade at wide receiver, but it made sense for both teams. But I think at the point I had like the most points in the league, cumulative points, and it was going to make my team notably stronger. So people voted it down. And that is why I fell out of love with, or one of the reasons I fell out of love with fantasy
Fair.
football. I fell out of love with that team, and I think I was getting AJ Green. So to tell you how long ago I haven't played fantasy football, it's when AJ Green was relevant. So that trade getting vetoed, it would have been the best trade because I definitely would have gone on to win that season. I think I wound up with the silver medal. The trade getting vetoed would have been the best, and it wound up being the worst memory I have around a trade at least, and that's all I could really think of thinking back in the Wayback Machine.
Nice. Yeah. Anybody who still has trade vetoes, even as an option, like unless everybody's a stranger, get out of here. We all have a group chat. We all have that. Like we've moved on in my leagues. Most of my leagues does instant trades now. So as soon as you trade it, it goes through. Because the reason being, whoever's commissioner of the league, if something is so completely unjust, he would be like, no, and then just revert it. Or at least text the group chat like, hey, we're not going to let this happen, right? And everyone would be like, yeah, no. But when you do instant trades, it takes away, you don't have to play that game of like, wait, when is this trade going to go through? Oh, I can't pick anybody up on waivers because I would drop a guy that's going to be in the trade. All that stuff, it just goes out the window. We just do instant trades and our life has never been better. Like that is the way it should always be. Dave, do you want to go next or you want me to go next?
I'll just hop in real quick. I don't really ever trade in fantasy. I love my guys too much to trade them away.
I hate you.
But a few years ago, I was in a different fantasy league, and it was like a guy and his wife each had teams in this league, and they kept trading. Like one team was just getting stacked, and I messaged like the commissioner. I was like, "What are we doing? Why are we letting this?"
Yeah.
Because I kept like vetoing it. It kept going through because I was the only one vetoing it, and I'm like, "You gotta do something, man." Because like It's not
Yeah,
even
that
fair for
sucks.
everybody else. And then he called them out, and they got all mad at him for it. Was like such a stupid situation. It was like they were trying to cheat the whole time. It's like
Right.
it was
Yeah,
dumb.
we all know when a trade looks at least roughly balanced. Like there are
Yeah.
times where you're like that team definitely got the better end of that trade, but it still kind of makes sense from the other
Right.
side. So you can be like, yeah, maybe this owner is a little bit dumb, but it's not crazy to think they
Right.
might have wanted
Yeah.
that trade to go through. And then there's times when it's just straight up collusion, like you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yep.
they didn't
I agree.
play or follow football a lot, so that's what their like argument was like, oh, like we don't even know who these
We
guys
don't
are
know.
and this and that,
Yeah.
and it's like train Jamar Chase for like a backup running back, like you know
Yeah.
exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I can't stand that at all. And like, I mean, I know like one of those trades, like you were talking about, Bill, is like last or 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I traded away right before a playoff run. I traded away Cooper Cup, who was the last year that he was on the Rams, and I traded him away for Calvin Ridley on the Titans, who really wasn't doing a whole lot. And the trade looked kind of lopsided, and everyone was like, Cooper Cup's definitely worth more than Calvin Ridley. But my thought process, I was like, look, Cooper Cup has the most difficult fantasy playoff schedule coming up, and Calvin Ridley has a very easy one. So even though Cooper Cup's played much better than him, I want to do this trade. And the other guy was like, yeah, I'll take Cooper Cup. And I ended up winning the league because of it, because had I played Cooper Cup, he had one of the worst like fantasy championship matchups ever. He scored like a combined like 16 points between 3 games on my playoff run, and I would have been starting him, and it would have killed me for it. Whereas Calvin Ridley, he didn't explode or anything, but he was like 15, I don't know, somewhere between 10 or 15 points a game, and it was perfect. So a little lopsided that made me look kind of dumb, but it worked out in my favor. My best trade of all time would have been in a keeper league where I got
Don't you
prime
say
Antonio.
Herbert for Daniels.
No, I got prime Antonio Brown. It was like the year after his like real breakout, and so he was still kind of a question mark, even though on the field you're like, this guy's the dude. And I don't remember who I gave up for him, but it wasn't a whole lot. But I also had Julio Jones on my team, and again, this is a keeper league, so we could keep 2 people every year. And then for the next whatever 5 or 6 years, I was keeping prime Antonio Brown and prime Julio Jones on my team over and over and over. So I won a bunch. If I didn't get first, I was getting second or third. So that was my best trade ever because I got him early in his career and got to keep him in the league over and over. The worst trade I ever made, because I was a Saints fan, in 2010, I had Drew Brees, and we're going to talk about this when I talk about fantasy later in the year. But the value of a quarterback versus a running back, and especially in a single quarterback league. So I had Drew Brees, and I had Arian Foster, and I really wanted Drew Brees as a Saints fan. And I was young in my fantasy career, and I just didn't get it. So this is 2010. I traded away Arian Foster to my cousin straight up for Drew Brees. And that was the year that was the best career or best year of Arian Foster's career. He finished running back one that year, 24 and a half points per game, 1,600 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns. And Drew Brees didn't do bad. He finished like top 5 or like 6th, somewhere in that area for quarterbacks. But again, quarterbacks are so like the difference between the 6th best and the 12th best quarterback is not much compared to the number one best running back in football. So, and that was again a keeper league. So then my cousin kept Arian Foster over and over and over during the prime of his career. So that's my best. That's my worst.
At least lucky for you if it was a keeper league. Arian Foster had like a crazy peak prime, but it didn't last that long. So at least it
It's true.
wasn't shoved in your face for too long. Now at Barstool, Arian Foster.
Yep.
Okay, so this next question is Drake May going to be the next Jaden Daniels? Easiest schedule to a hard one, big chance for a step back. So I'll start off and just say no, he's not nearly as talented as Jaden Daniels. Uh,
Nice.
thanks. But I actually kind of mean it. Uh, I do think he is going to have a crazy step back. I think the AJ Brown scenario still being up in the air, I think that has a chance to stabilize his floor, obviously. Going from Romeo Dobbs to AJ Brown as your number one receiver going into the season would be a huge change. But I really don't see him having anywhere near the year he had last year. And I've been pretty outspoken about that. But even just speaking like honestly, as opposed to like the Drake May hater side of me, I don't see him finishing as like he won't get a single MVP vote this year. I don't see him finishing as like a top, maybe like that fringe top 10, top 12 quarterback in the league this year.
Yeah, I mean, and the other part of it, like talking about Jaden Daniels too. So like Jaden Daniels had this amazing rookie year, and then last year, up until he got hurt, really wasn't playing that well because he had a much more difficult schedule because of how well they played the year before. So if the question's asking specifically, is Drake May going to take that huge step back like Jaden Daniels did because of the schedule? I also think that the answer is like I don't. Number one, I think there was more stuff to it with Jaden Daniels even before the injury. Like his scramble rate was still high. All the things that made him good was there. It was just a little bit tougher and sophomore slump and all that. Um, I don't think Drake May, even with a more difficult schedule, I don't think he's going to have as tough of a time. I also don't think he's going to be in MVP conversations, but I think he's going to play very well still. Like that accuracy was not just because of bad teams. Like you have to put the ball exactly where it needs to go on all those deep shots, which we've talked about over and over, regardless of whether the defender's there or not. So I think that's going to continue. I think Drake May is going to be just fine.
Yeah, I think Drake May is going to be fine. So what's special about Drake May and the Patriots is it's kind of time under task with him. And the longer he's in the system under McDaniels, the more answers he has to problems that he didn't really have last year. Like the more he gets in the playbook, they're going to figure out ways to get guys open for him to read defenses better. The blueprint is there. With Jaden Daniels, it was just Cliff Kingsbury just doing what Cliff Kingsbury does, doing stupid read options and leaving his quarterback out to dry all the time, like getting him hit when he shouldn't get hit. The guy should be sliding more. Yeah, I think he's just a little too small to play that style where Lamar's a little bit bigger and beefier where he could like take a little bit more hits. Jaden's obviously a great talent, but that's why he fell off. And this year, Cliff Kingsbury left, so it's like another new offensive system in 3 years,
Right.
which is never good for any quarterback. And yeah, that never helps. But I think Drake May is probably going to be like a top 10. He might be like 7 or 8 when the year is all done. But I think the Patriots are going to be competitive. I think they'll be a wild card or compete with Buffalo for the 1 seed. But
Nice.
I don't see a fall off, especially with getting Dobbs and hopefully AJ Brown. You gotta like he's under rookie deal, surround him with talent. They got line help. Line will be better. Yeah, I think they're going to be just fine.
Nice.
Yeah. Not to beleaguer or go back into Drake May hater zone. I think one area that Dave, I'd love to be as confident as you with that he's just going to thrive under the Josh McDaniels system, but kind of that mic'd up time during the Super Bowl where he was just talking about how it was too hard and too fast.
That
I
was
think it was the
Denver.
Seahawks playing. Oh, it was Denver. Okay. Denver
That was
then,
when it was snowing
where he was
sideways. But he also played hurt.
saying it was
We know McDaniel. I mean, not McDaniels. We know what's his
And
face
an
doesn't play
amazing
hurt.
defense.
So yeah,
my point just is I just think playing a tougher schedule and in the league having another year of like seeing Josh McDaniels again, but Josh McDaniels with a new quarterback, and I don't think he's Brady. Like that processing power that Brady had, that quick decision making processing power Brady had, like that was also what helped Josh McDaniels' offense like run so well with like the multiple options that receivers could run routes on, and just having that connection with the Edelman, with the Gronk, and then also like in that scheme McDaniels. I don't think it's just McDaniels just being able to work with necessarily any quarterback. And I think we saw that in his time in Denver and other places too. So I don't know if McDaniels is just or year 2 of McDaniels and Drake May working together is just gonna solve all the problems. But
well, there's
I
already
guess we'll
reports
see.
coming out that he looks incredible. He's already picking apart whatever.
It's OTAs.
Physically, he looks good. We'll talk about that later.
It's OTAs.
So what? You can't bulk up in the off season because you realize you're maybe a
Talking
little
about
too
practice.
small.
You absolutely can bulk up. It's just like how we all know that like training camp, like throwing numbers in training camp, like doesn't really mean shit until you're actually in front of teams
Yeah,
going
but they're
full
probably
speed
just
and full
insinuating
pads. You're getting
knowledge
hit.
of the offense. When your offense is like 10,000 pages at New England, and then let's say Sean Payton's is 5,000, and that's why like Brady was also really good. He had his, like I said, yeah, the answer is everything.
Yeah,
Or
I guess we'll see.
Seattle, where it's just one page and it says throw to JSN.
Yeah.
Facts, and they won the Super Bowl.
True.
Next question. Who
Yeah.
is the biggest consensus first round fantasy pick that busted in the last 10 years? So
Oh,
I actually
giggity.
looked back, like I said, so between this and the dynasty trades, so I looked back in like my way back history. In the last season I played, I think it was 2017, and I think I had the second pick in the draft. I don't remember exactly what pick. It was an early pick, and
Yeah,
I
which
drafted
Charger
David
did you pick?
Johnson.
Oh, okay.
David Johnson.
Ah,
And
nice.
that was the year that I think he tore his ACL. I don't know something. He
Yep.
only played one game. And then after that, he was never the same. So I know that's not really a bust because it's more of an injury as opposed to a bust. Um, but he was I'm going to say David Johnson just because he went from he had a couple of years there where he was like top one, top two, top three running back.
Yep.
And then just
Yeah.
that injury. And then I think he had an okay year the year after, but then fell off
I
a
got it right
cliff.
here. I found a little
So
subreddit page with actually exactly what we're talking about. David Johnson, 2019, drafted RB5, finished RB 37
yeah.
in 13
Yeah, it's
games,
tough.
averaging 11 points per game. Not
Maybe
good.
that was the last year I played, but it was one of
There you
those, and
go.
I just knew it was David Johnson, and I hated him after that.
Dave, who's your pick?
So looking at this list, I mean, it's pretty in depth. Number one's Jonathan Taylor, 2022, best running back in the league.
Number
Ended
one overall.
running back 36, 13.3
Yep.
points per game in 11 total games.
But that
Yep.
was another hurt year, right? That
Yeah, he
wasn't
got probably
yeah.
hurt in 12
Yeah.
games, but for a guy with a full season, let's say, was Tyreek Hill, 2024, wide receiver 2, finished wide receiver 23,
Yep.
12.8
That
points
was
per game.
Yeah, I remember bringing that one up when we were talking about our wide receiver rankings and our projections. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
not
not
good
good.
because he played 17 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the two biggest busts that come to mind were back-to-back years. It was Le'Veon Bell in 2018, where everyone's like, "Oh, he'll figure out his contract. It'll be fine. He'll figure it out." And still drafted incredibly high, and then completely didn't show up. Just was a holdout and didn't play. So, and then that's when James Conner started taking over, which was really fun. And then the next year would be Antonio Brown, 2019, when he is like, I'm going to the Raiders. And everyone's like, okay, we're still going to draft you incredibly high because you put together an amazing body of work. And we didn't know that side of Antonio Brown yet. And then he goes to the Raiders, doesn't even make it through training camp, goes to the Patriots eventually that year, plays one game with the Patriots, and then just leaves and is done. And it's all over. So those two would be the biggest busts that I remember. But if we're talking specifically about somebody who was drafted high, played, and did not return on their investment just due to sucking, Tyreek Hill in 2024 is definitely very, very high on that list.
Yeah. I got one honorable mention. Todd Gurley. The cliff came fast and
Todd
hard
no
with
knees.
him.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was, first round talent, ended running back 20. And after that, it was just all downhill.
What about Kenny Galladay?
He
Rip.
is, yeah, he's
That
not
Kenny
on this
Galladay
either.
was so funny. Just like a couple really good years in Detroit, chases the bag in for the Giants, and then like the stats on him for how much money he got and how much he didn't play is insane. It was something like hundreds of thousands of dollars for every catch he made as a Giant because of the fact that he didn't play. Literally, it's just that whole thing is so funny.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and I just looked up David Johnson's stats while we're here, just so it was 2017, the year that I was thinking of. So the year before, he had 293 rushing attempts for 1,240 yards and 16 touchdowns. 2017, he played one game, 11 rushes for 23 yards. So, and that was the year that I drafted him. So
The old Aaron
it was
Rodgers.
And I remembered it, so I had to look up the injury because I said ACL, and I'm like, it wasn't an ACL because I remember it being something weird. It was a severely dislocated left wrist. Because I remember I held on to him for like 5 or 6 weeks because they weren't sure what it was going to be before they shut him down
Right.
for the season. So just that's my pick, just because
Nice.
I'm vain and have to make it somebody I actually selected.
Fair.
So the next question: which aging veteran running back has the best chance to finish top 8 this year? For fantasy, like top 8. So I think there's two different scenarios, and JMO will touch all on this when we talk fantasy football, I'm sure. But there's PPR versus non-PPR. Either way, I'm taking Derrick Henry though, even though he's obviously not as strong in PPR leagues because he's not much of a catching back. You can make a play for a couple other people, but I won't spoil their names unless just in case they come up later. But
Sure.
I think it's Derrick Henry for any running back over 30 who actually has a shot to do anything. As we touched on when we were talking about our top running backs, like he's going to be a
Yeah.
top 3 or 4 running back in the league for me until he shows me that he's not. So I'm taking Derrick
That's
Henry.
fair. Do we want to include Christian McCaffrey in
Yeah,
this
his
list? Because I'm pretty
birthday's
sure
next
he's
week.
29. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
he's
No,
going to
because
be
I
30.
didn't look at him.
Okay, I was just
But
going to
yeah,
say, so he is going to be 30. So easy answer would be Christian McCaffrey. And then easy answer to that would be Derrick Henry. Because I'm trying to think of running backs who are 30 years old or older in the league. I know Kamara. I
yep.
know Nick Chubb. And other than that, Aaron
How old's
Jones.
Saquon?
Saquon's
Saquon's
29,
28 or 29, yeah.
February 9th.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Aaron Jones is at
Yeah,
least
Kamara,
30 up
Aaron
in Minnesota.
Jones, James
Kamara, yeah.
Conner.
Oh yeah, true, James Conner.
Okay.
Yeah, so if it's the 30-year-olds, it's Derrick Henry, and then the only other answer would be Christian McCaffrey for me. And I think that if I had to put my money down on Christian McCaffrey versus Derrick Henry, I don't care about the injury history or anything like that. I'm picking Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, absolutely. If they're both on the fantasy board, I'm picking
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey too.
And do I think they can do it? Yes, I think they both can do it also.
Are going to. Yeah.
So I have an interesting question for you though, JMO. So
Sure.
outside before David gives his pick.
It's the
So
same.
outside of actual fantasy projections, so you're not getting their point total. So it's not who are you drafting. But if say there's a line at MGM Sportsbook or wherever, DraftKings, you have to bet on a running back to be top 8, and it's Christian McCaffrey or Derrick Henry. So now we're including injury possibility. Who are you betting on more likely to be in the top 8, Derrick Henry or Christian McCaffrey?
Christian McCaffrey, and the reason is if he's healthy, every year he's ever been healthy, he's finished top 1 or 2 running backs in his career. So if he's healthy, he's going to hit on that, no problem. There is a world where Derrick Henry can be healthy and not hit that. And we saw that with the Titans with Tony Pollard. So it's possible. And so let's assume they have a similar injury risk. They're both older running backs, whatever. And so even though
Similar injury
McCaffrey's might
risk?
be high, well, okay, fine. Even give McCaffrey, it's not like a lot of repeated injuries, but even still, with McCaffrey's higher, I'm still picking his because if he's healthy, he's finishing easily in that top 8. There's plenty of worlds where Derrick Henry is healthy and not used properly, or just he can't get it going, and especially without the catching and whatever, won't finish top 8. So
I'm
McCaffrey.
absolutely taking Derrick Henry there.
Yeah, I'm also Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
In that
You guys
situation.
don't know ball.
Your fact that it's not repeat injuries actually I feel like is worse for you. Like
Maybe.
he's just more injury prone, like as a rule of thumb. Plus he's playing next to that electrical substation.
Well, the worst part is
whereas-
we can't prove this with anything because if they are both healthy, either way, it's going to be like what
But
are
Derrick
you and
Henry's
I always talk about?
always healthy. That's where I was getting into it. Like Derrick Henry.
Well, yeah, he was healthy when he was
is a
with Tony
stud.
Pollard, and he finished with the same amount of yards as him.
I get it. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying like like assuming they have the same injury risk just because they're old is a crazy take.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah,
Scratch
CMC's
that from the
got-
record. I'm still taking CMC.
You'll tendonitis in his Achilles on both of them.
He went to Europe to fix it. It's fine.
Yeah, that goes away.
Stem cells.
Yeah, probably, honestly.
Maybe.
Why aren't they here? No, this could be an episode for a different day. Yeah, Derrick Henry for me. He's a
Yep.
beast. It's like they haven't
Perfect.
really figured out him and Lamar yet, and if they do, it'll be dangerous for the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yep. Hit them both in the knees.
Okay.
Figured them out.
So next question.
Yep.
Will Henry Ruggs get a shot? If so, who gives it to him and what is his ceiling? I
No.
think he gets a shot. I do.
Okay.
Honestly, ironically, I think if he gets a shot, it'll be a training camp shot or a practice squad shot, and probably with the Raiders. I think they're the team. David's shaking his head, so I don't think he necessarily agrees. But I think they're the team that's gonna take a flyer on somebody like this. No pun intended. And
Nice.
I don't really care so much about his ceiling because I don't think he makes it out of practice squad or camp or anything. Like I think he's gonna get a shot because people will, as much as it wasn't like a feel good story what he did. Obviously, the NFL doesn't care to have good people in there, but at least it's like it could be a feel good rehabilitation story to bring him in for training camp or a practice squad. But I think 3 years in jail and then coming out and expecting to be a great receiver when really you were known for kind of that explosive athleticism, that probably isn't something that
That you've
kept
aged
up
out
with.
of. Yeah.
Mike Vick
Right,
did it.
exactly. So that's true. Mike Vick did do it. And in a different position, I
But
think.
still, he wasn't like a true quarterback. He did rely on his
No, and
explosiveness for
Oh, absolutely.
he was a lot better
Absolutely,
passer
all
when he went to
do,
the
but,
Eagles, which was crazy.
yeah.
He honed in. He did well.
But I don't think he gets anything more than a practice squad shot or a training camp shot. So I'm not really all too
Yeah.
interested in his ceiling. But I think he does get a shot. He gets like kind of one of those feelers. One team's gonna sign him and see what he's got.
Yeah, I think that I don't even know if it'll get that far, but if it does, I don't even know if he'll make a roster even after that. He might. It feels to me like he would go to a team. I don't even think he would, but if he does, he would go to a team, they would try him out, and he's gonna be like, yeah, I tried it out, I played my hardest, but it's just not there. I'm not good enough, or whatever the case may be. I think that's how that plays out. I don't think he actually sees the field for an NFL game. If he does, what's his ceiling case? I think it's very minimal throughout the course of a season. It's a couple catches here and there. It's like Twilight Odell Beckham type stuff. And then as far as like what team do I think would go after him? It's not going to be anybody who actually needs him. It's going to be somebody who needs some depth, and specifically somebody whose skill like aligns with what they need. So if it's going to be somebody very specifically who doesn't really need the position, but could use a deep threat, if
Kansas
they
City.
were to exactly if they were to give him a shot, right? So it's not going to be the Packers, like Christian Watson and them. They've got that role figured out. It's not going to be like the Chargers want a downfield, or you want a downfield threat, but not somebody who can just run fast in a straight line. You've got that covered too. So a lot of teams don't really need that skill set from him. So yeah, maybe a Kansas City, but even Kansas City, like they have Xavier Worthy. So it's like they really don't need it. Maybe Minnesota or something. I don't know, but I don't.
Yeah,
I
I just
think
think you're
null and
better off
void, I don't
going
think-
after and
yeah, getting somebody else.
you're
Yeah, I
better off
agree.
going after undrafted free agent or something as opposed to taking a
Yep.
shot on him.
I agree.
Yeah. I think he's going to get another shot. He's only 27, but he's still pretty young. He ran a 4.2 40 at the combine. I don't care how long he's been in jail. He's still faster than a lot of guys in the league. I don't think he's going to be the Raider just because it's not a good situation. That's what got him in trouble. Like when he got drafted, he was a really good kid, really good head on his shoulders, and he went to like a terrible situation, bad culture, and then Dewey crashes, somebody dies. Terrible. So I can't see him going back to that whole area that all began anyways. Because Nick Saban loved him coming out of college. Because he coached him. I can see him going to any team that needs a real fucking wide receiver.
I already did earlier.
The
true.
Chiefs, Buffalo,
The
you compare
Dolphins.
him with the Dolphins. You compare him with a lot of teams that need like a true deep threat. Like, because even the Chiefs, they took Tyquan Thornton and made something out of him. You're telling me they can't take Henry Ruggs and do something with him? Because Tyreek
Not when
Hill
they have Xavier
needs.
Worthy.
Xavier Worthy sucks. I don't know if you know that. I know it. He's too busy doing his stupid sweep end around trick
Yeah.
play stuff. He's not Tyreek Hill of what Tyreek Hill did in that offense. You need somebody that's actually like can do what he can essentially. So
Yeah.
I think
I just
there'll be a decent a few homes at least for Henry Ruggs to try him out, and I think he is gonna look the part. He's still pretty young, so
Yeah,
I was
but
just thinking about how I remember reading something about Josh Jacobs was speaking on behalf of Henry Ruggs because they were on the Raiders together, and Josh Jacobs was talking about how, like, yeah, he's been working out the entire time that he's been in prison. And that would be a really funny thing to read right now with all the Josh Jacobs news, because it would sound like he's right next to him.
yeah,
Yeah, I see him every day. He's working out.
absolutely.
you guy's a beast.
Uh,
But I mean,
yeah.
what else are you gonna
And
do in
that's
prison?
True.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know, Dave. You say that he had a really good head on his shoulders before the Raiders. Like, do we know that? Do we ever know that?
You never heard
No.
that? I'll find the reel. It's like Saban talking about the whole situation. It's like
I'd
What
say
the
that too if I was him.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's not. I don't know. I guess I'm
he
like,
never got in trouble. He never got
ironically,
arrested. He has clean record,
you
and
never
then
get
the
arrested, so
only
you get
time.
arrested the first time. Like,
Yeah, but
it's
it's
not
like
it's not like he
Yep.
was 60 and he got arrested for the first time, and they're like, oh, his personality changed. He was like
23 or
23.
whatever. Yeah. Yep.
Who's to say he hadn't done that since high school, and that was just the first time he got caught because he
True.
killed the lady. Okay, so enough with the deep thought. We're going back to love, marry, kill.
Oh,
This next one, I'm not taking first. So it is
I'm on it.
Calvin Johnson,
Calvin Johnson.
and then your two co-hosts.
Okay.
F Mary
Yeah.
Kill.
This is super easy for me. I'm going to marry David because between the two of us, we are going to have the sickest house on the block. We're going to build a 70,000 square foot deck. We're going to our house is going to be so fucking cool. And then, I mean, I'll just do the thing that I've been doing since we were kids anyway and fuck Billy. Just because it doesn't, it's easy, it's available. It happens every time that we play sports together. So that's an easy answer for me. And yeah, as far as Megatron goes, like, yeah, he has a bunch of money, but like, I don't think I really want to marry him. I don't think him and I have a lot in common. He's 19 feet taller than me and comes from a totally different ethnic background. I don't think we're gonna have a lot of similarities to talk to there. So that doesn't.
Yeah, but think
that's
about
not
your
going to work
kids.
out. Yeah, and
I'm athletes.
neither of us can get pregnant. I don't think you know how that works. And then on the other side of things, I'm sure as shit not having sex with Calvin Johnson because I'll be doing anything he wants, right? And so that's not going to work. So yes, I will. I'll just give him a little kiss, and I will marry David, and I will fuck Billy, just like I always have.
I think
Dave, over to you.
I mean, I definitely gotta kill Calvin Johnson. Same reason why J-Mo said he's gonna just annihilate you. You'll never be the same person ever again if any answer you give. So
It's true.
I'll
if you're gonna,
I'll marry Bill.
Yeah, he's got more
he
money
could be
than
my
me,
little
that's for
housewife. He can do all the cooking
He said
and
he wants to
cleaning.
be. He said he could be a stay-at-home dad.
Mow the yard.
I could be a stay-at-home dad. I'd love being a stay-at-home dad.
I'll use my non-electric power tools like my gas mower, my gas chainsaw.
Hey, my gas mower, my push mower for the part that I can't drive my ride-on mower, my gas push mower wouldn't start today. So I had to use my electric weed whacker to get it to
it's so easy to
that
fix
part
though.
of the lawn.
I do want to add
then
in though.
I have to fix it. I don't want to have to fix it.
Yeah, it's not that hard. Just fix it. Don't be a bitch. The other side of it though, if I come home and Dave's like, I made dinner and it's like Pop-Tarts and goldfish, I'm immediately remarrying Billy. There's just no way.
That is true. I don't think I'd ever make that, but Billy is the
good.
culinary expert. All right, Bill, what's
Yeah.
your choice?
I guess I'll kill Calvin Johnson off the same concept you guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I went first, I'm glad I didn't go first. I would have said marry Calvin Johnson, because I love Calvin Johnson and have
Yeah,
my
you
whole life.
would too.
But
You don't
but
gotta switch it up
my
on us.
but you guys brought up maybe some I don't know, some impaction
Health
issues that
concerns?
would probably happen.
Yeah.
Yes, some health concerns. So I'm gonna kill Calvin Johnson. I will. David and I already bicker like we're married, so I'll marry David. And then I guess JMO, we're having some fun in the sack.
Hell
Whoa.
yeah. I just don't there's no way that you're like I don't see how you would marry David over me. Not to get mad about a hypothetical, but you guys bicker and fight so much. Like somebody's permanently sleeping on the couch every single night. There's no way that's gonna
It's
work.
because we know each other too well.
To be
We know
fair,
what
That's probably true.
I know
hits
it's true.
hits home.
To be fair, I'd probably rather in that arrangement sleep on the couch. With any of the three.
Wow.
Fair.
So this user who sent in these questions loves this game of Love, Marry, Kill. So next we have Love, Marry, Kill, Count Chocula, Chester Cheeto, or Tony the Tiger. So I'll start off this one. So for the same reason I'm killing Calvin Johnson, I'm killing Tony the Tiger. Absolutely, that guy is ripped and huge, and I'm not winning that domination factor. Chester the Cheeto seems pretty crazy. And I think maybe a little bit more.
So you can be your one night stand.
I guess the name's Chester. I was gonna say like maybe it could potentially be a female, but the name's Chester. So I'm still gonna love Chester Cheeto, and then I guess I'll marry Count Chocula. I don't really have any great reasoning other than killing Tony the Tiger there. And Chester Cheeto just seems like a fun time for a one night stand.
Yeah, I mean, Chester the Cheetah, I mean, would he not just be an anorexic Tony the Tiger? Like just a crackhead Tony the Tiger?
Right. But
So
that's my point. It's like less powerful.
Yeah.
So.
That's fair. I don't know, man. Tony the Tiger has a scarf. So I feel like he's a gentle human. Like I'm not intimidated by somebody with a scarf. I don't care how big they are. So I feel like he would be the bottom there. So I don't really want to take my chances with a crackhead. So I'm going to fuck Tony the Tiger, and I think I could with that little handkerchief. I'm going to kill the crackhead, and I'm going to marry the Count because he is going to be sleeping during the day. I'll never have to really see him. I get to live in his castle, which is baller as shit.
That's a great point.
And I never even really have to see him because he's going to be doing his own thing. He's going to be awake during the night. I'm going to be sleeping. So it's just a nice, easy, symbiotic relationship.
I'm glad I accidentally solved the right answer there because I agree that sleeping during the day that's huge. Dave?
Yeah.
Huge. If I kill Count Chocula, does he die? 'Cause he's a vampire? Do they die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill him with garlic.
Stake through the heart or silver bullet or whatever. Garlic. Whatever the
Silver
the
bullets
thing
for a
is.
werewolf, you idiot.
Okay.
Gerald
I'd
Kennedy
marry
knows that.
Tony the Tiger.
Nice.
I like tigers. They're cool animals. Billy's giggling. It's probably great.
They're acceptable.
Oh, well, no, I totally killed the cheetah. What's his name?
Yeah. Crackhead.
Chester.
Chester the
Yeah. Crackhead.
I totally kill him because yeah, he's probably does some wild stuff.
I bet you he's an Octane main in Apex.
He has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
following that
technically
out there.
still so am I, based on kills.
Oh,
Gross.
snap! We haven't played so long. I don't even know. Yeah, that leaves
The Count.
giving it to the Count.
Nice.
Just one and done.
Like it.
Or is the
Well,
count
if-
giving it to you?
Well, TBD.
I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to say it. I had a thought, but I'm going to let it go.
Okay, so I promise this is the last one. Love, Marry, Kill. Tony Hawk, Ethan Hawke, or Mike Hawk.
Who the heck is Mike Hog?
I don't
You
know.
said
You'll
Mike
find
Hawk.
it later.
Nailed it.
He's not a real person. Doesn't
Do
look
you want
like.
me to take? Yes. Yeah, it's Tony Hawk's son.
No, that's Ethan.
No, Ethan Hawke is an
No,
actor.
Ethan Hawke is an actor.
Duh.
You put an E
Yeah,
on the
I mean,
end.
No, his son's
I feel
Riley.
like, yeah, it's
I
not
know
really
because
Mike
Ethan
Hawke.
Hawke's an actor.
No, but it's not Mike. It's Riley. Riley Hawk's married to Kurt Cobain's daughter.
Mike Hawke is Mike Hawke.
Oh, he says Tony Hawk's son.
Sorry.
He's
Oh
yeah,
my God,
okay.
David.
So yeah, the obvious answer here is I am going to. I could never kill Tony Hawk. That feels so against my childhood. There's no way. So I'll kill Ethan Hawke, and I will fuck Tony Hawk, and I will marry Mike Hawk.
David
I think
just
that's
still
the
doesn't
answer
know who
that
Mike Hawke is.
I think that's the answer that people want to hear.
That chick on Stranger Things. What's her name? Maya Hawk. What's her dad?
That would be Ethan Hawke's daughter.
Yeah, a little fun fact.
Yep.
David
And who's
still
her
doesn't
mom?
know who Mike
I'd
Hawke is.
Uma Thurman. Is that who it is?
Yep.
No.
Correct.
Oh, is that?
Good
Okay.
job. Yep.
Hey, look at me.
Proud
I'd
of you.
marry Tony. Tony again. What's up with that fucking Tonys in my life? Yeah, I'd kill Mike and bang Ethan. Let's do it.
You're killing him even though you don't even know who he is.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
insane.
He's sucking dick.
Love that.
I'm
I can't.
marrying Tony Hawk.
I hate this.
I already fucked with Mike Hawk, so I will fuck Mike Hawk, and I will kill Ethan Hawke. But Tony Hawk would be the absolute coolest to live with, so that's why I'm marrying him. I'm
Yeah.
thinking right now about that episode of Rocket Power with
That's weird.
Tony
Woogity,
Hawk's,
woogity,
like, whole
woogity.
setup. Have you not seen that episode? Where like
Oh,
they
me?
go and
No.
meet Tony Hawk in the it's
Yeah.
like I don't know, it's
course.
like really cool. It's like a bunch of levels of this crazy place, but anyway, it's a Tony Hawk episode. Whatever. Next
Nice.
question. How did
many
you
more
all
of these do we
land
have?
such? We have 5 more.
Okay.
So this next
Quick
question is, how
episode.
did you all land such hotties? So I'll go first because
Ooh.
I'm the man, unlike Jeremiah. So Jimmo, you go next.
Sure. Oh, you want me to go now? Yeah. So how do we land such hotties? Well, it's probably a fictitious question, but I'm going to answer it anyway. My wife and I went to high school together. She hated me in high school for good reason. I was very loud and obnoxious, even more than I am now. I didn't understand boundaries. I didn't understand my crowd when I was telling jokes. I had funny jokes, but not to everybody who was listening. So I had a lot to
Still true.
to understand and learn. But when we started hanging out, she saw a different side of me that I did not show people in high school because I didn't want to. But I had that drive to be something better in life. I had that presence where she was pretty confident that I would be a good father. I had a good head on my shoulders, and I was not the guy that I was portraying in high school. And luckily, she kind of like taking a puppy home from the slaughterhouse. She pulled me from that place that I was in and gave me a chance, and it all worked out for the better. So I'm very thankful for that, and that is how I landed my
Aw.
hottie.
That's
Aw.
very nice, JMO.
Thanks.
Davey?
So like JMO, I went to school with my wife, high school, but we didn't really communicate. We had similar friend groups, but we didn't really communicate. And then my brother is now married to her best friend. So when I lived with my brother, she always came over the house, and that's how we started hanging out. So yeah, kind of similar situation. I didn't really know if I wanted kids, and then I met her, and it, everything just seems to work out when you find the person for you, and that's what happened.
Or
Absolutely.
when you groom somebody for yourself. Bill, speaking of which, how would you like to?
Blow me.
Woody Allen.
No, I love my wife very much.
True.
I didn't know we were gonna give honest answers, or else I wouldn't have started there. But no, I completely agree with what David just said there at the end. Like, I wasn't sure if I wanted kids. Actually, I was pretty damn sure I didn't want kids, and I am so
Nailed
glad
it.
that I met somebody and uh, settled down and was able to change my opinion on that. Because I don't know, like since we're being sappy, like kids are just the best. So
Kids
highly
are great.
recommend.
Yeah.
One, yeah, JMO's not in a great spot with teething right now, so
Yeah, they're pretty okay, I guess. Kids are fine.
a little different for him today. So this next question: if you could have any Pokemon as a companion, who would it be and why? So I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna steal the only right answer, which is Arcanine, because it's a dog. It's also it
Okay.
was originally supposed to be a legendary, so it's also a strong Pokemon, so that's pretty awesome. But also it's a dog, so there
You
you
don't even
go.
have a dog.
Yeah, Arcanine. I David, that's not on me.
It's got a good
I
point.
would love a dog. Rachel,
If you're listening,
dog,
woof
she'll
woof.
listen.
Huh.
That's crazy work.
I choose Charizard because you can
Nice.
just hop on his back
Normie.
and fly around and go anywhere you want, which is pretty cool. And then he's pretty powerful, protects you
Yeah.
from anything.
There you go.
He's a beast. Except Charizard.
Nice. Good answer. I'm gonna go with low punny. If you know, you know.
Ditto.
There's so many ditto. Yeah, there's so many people who are like, I don't get it. It's not for you. The joke's not for you.
How did I know that's where you were gonna go?
Come on now. Like, what do you think? Just saying.
Oh God.
Well,
Okay. With all the talk about Michael Jordan and LeBron, where does Larry Bird land on your list? I will actually take a moment to say I think Larry Bird is the opposite of what we talk about all the time with like uh athletes creeping up in terms of like high level talent as we move generation to generation. In other words, like if you put Shohei Ohtani in the 1950s in baseball, he's hitting 800 and striking out every single batter he faces, right?
correct.
I think Larry Bird is almost like the one very rare exception to that, because he's taller and a better defender than like Luca. And I think if Larry Bird came up in this age, I think he would be a crazy Luca style scorer too, just because he
Yeah.
was like an absolute sharpshooter. But I think he's actually hurt by the fact that he played in an age where it was much more like you had the big man playing in the post. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
such a perimeter dominated game where I think he would have
Right.
been even better should he have come up today.
Okay.
I don't know. I have him like top 10, but definitely not towards the high end of that list. I think there's a few names that just like by default have to go ahead of him, including like some of the name like Steph Curry has to go ahead of him. And Steph Curry's not even done whatever his legacy is yet, but he's just
Yeah.
the greatest 3-point shooter and absolutely revolutionized the way the game's played. So I don't know,
Right.
like top 10, but not top 5. So
Yeah,
like
that's
somewhere mid 6 through 10
exactly.
probably.
Yeah, that's exactly where I landed. Top 10, but not top 5. He's definitely behind LeBron and Jordan. For me, he's behind Wilt. He's behind Kareem. I kind of like it starts to get a little dicey. Tim Duncan, Bill Russell, Magic Johnson. I think I would take those 3 guys above Larry Bird, but it starts getting choppy there at the very least. But like Kobe, Shaq, KD, Hakeem, I think I would put Larry in front of those guys. Or at least it'd be close. So definitely he would not make my top 5, and I can almost guarantee he would be in the top 10. So that's where I'll go with that.
Yeah, for me, he would probably be. I didn't make a list, but I'd assume like right out of the top 5, like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I think if you put him in today's league, he would, like Billy said, it'd be a flawless transition, and he was like kind of one of the first like point forward basketball players where it was like power forward that you gave the ball up and he dribbled up the court, and he does like what LeBron does. He was doing what LeBron does now in the 80s,
Sure.
and the rest of his team was good, but they weren't like great, and he elevated like all their play styles. Like he averaged a double-double his whole career. He was great at passing. Like you always see the highlight videos of him passing. He's
Yep.
a generational shit talker. If you see any of those stories,
True.
it's
Oh yeah.
amazing.
Who's coming in second, boys?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to be
You
like
put the
6 or
white
7.
guy on me.
Yeah, that's
Love
disrespectful.
that. That's so funny.
So
But I mean,
good.
he had seasons where he what's that, the 50 40 90 club of like 50% field goals, 40% threes, 90% free throws. He had a few seasons of doing that, like before everybody was doing that. So that's kind of unique in his aspect. Like, yeah, I mean, his career he shot 50% from
Yeah.
the field, which is insane,
Right.
especially in
Huge,
that
And
like
he's also
era.
like, and he's one of the crazy stories where he kept playing after like an injury that would have kept a lot of, or would have taken a lot of people out. So honestly, like his career numbers and his average numbers would have been even better if he wasn't playing through that back injury in the back two,
What
3
was
years
it?
of his career where he was struggling.
Was it
Yeah.
AIDS? Oh no, that was magic.
Nice.
But yeah, I think like we all said, the easiest thing about like plotting Larry Bird in today's NBA is the fact that Luka Doncic does exist. Because like just imagine Luka if he wasn't a defensive liability. And I feel like
Right.
that's Larry Bird.
That's fair.
So
Yep.
yeah. Any
Just
other
'cause they're white.
thoughts on Larry? Larry Legend?
Nope.
Okay.
Negative.
So the next question. Which sport do you think has the toughest athletes? Uh, this one's an easy one. It's hockey. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even questionable. Like, the injuries they play through are like, I mean, Patrice Bergeron played with like broken ribs and
Wasn't
a
that like
punctured
a
lung through a
collapsed lung or
playoff
something?
run.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
nuts.
and a punctured
Yeah,
lung
no, it's
through a
definitely
playoff
hockey.
run once. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a question. Like, the
They
guy,
get their teeth
what was
knocked out during the game, and they keep
Yeah.
playing. Like that's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I think
what?
Yeah, I
Rich
mean-
Peverly, I think was his name, was like
Yeah.
flatlined on the bench, got CPR, and then
On the
wanted to come back
Stars.
in. Like, thankfully,
Yeah.
thankfully they said that he couldn't, but like he
Right.
wanted to come back in the game after he flatlined on the bench.
And
Like
yeah,
hockey
died.
is
Literally
just a
died.
different breed.
Yeah, I think the only thing that comes close would probably be something like rugby, but like rugby is just tough for what they're doing in general. I'm assuming, because I don't watch a lot of rugby, I'm assuming when they get injuries, if they are physically capable, they're still playing through them, but they're obviously not afraid to get hit by very, very large men. So rugby's probably up there, but like it's hockey by a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we ranking them? So what? Hockey 1.
No, just
Football.
in general, what's
Oh,
number
just-
one?
It was just who's the toughest. Yeah.
All right. Who's the weakest?
Soccer.
Baseball players. Well, yeah, soccer doesn't
Yeah.
count as a
God,
major
no.
sport.
Baseball, 162 games a season. Like, don't get me wrong.
You're
I
a
get
pitcher. You're
it,
playing every
like,
7
sometimes.
days. You're only playing every 1/7
Pitching's
of those.
different. Pitching's different
If you ever
than
play
like
baseball,
the
you
position
just sit
players,
there half the time. Somebody else, like running bases is like the most athleticism you use. And Prince Fielder.
If Bartolo Colon can play baseball,
I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
toughest. We're not talking most athletic.
I guess that's true.
Well, I said opposite, so
But,
softest. NBA's up there, Speaking of Luka Doncic, the
Yeah.
guy sat
Soccer.
out all the playoffs
Yeah.
for a hamstring
I got a
injury.
finger.
Yep. Yeah, hockey is just a total and complete other level. Rugby's a good add-on, although like it's interesting, like the whole rugby versus football. People are like, oh, football players wear pads. It's like if you watch a rugby game, they're not hitting the same way that you hit in football. Like you wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to not wear pads playing football. Like it's just
Right.
completely different types
For
of
sure.
sports. But interesting. Okay, so our last question before we do have a couple of thoughts after we're done this last question, but the last actual formal question is: do you consider NASCAR drivers athletes?
Yes.
I will tackle this one first in saying, well, JMO tackled it first technically. I will tackle this one first in saying that David and I have, I feel like, a very similar idea of like what an athlete is, and it's not an easy thing to explain. Or what an athlete is or what a sport is. And I'm going to say no. It's not that you don't have to be like in somewhat of a shape to do it. but that doesn't make you an athlete because you're in a shape to do it. Like, I don't consider them professional athletes, I guess should be the term, because technically like everybody's an athlete on some level, but no, I don't consider them professional athletes. That doesn't mean there isn't rigorous training or you don't have to be in some level of shape. I just don't consider them professional athletes.
I would say that they are more of a professional athlete than a golfer.
Yeah,
I
Like,
would agree.
I'd say that.
but
I would agree.
still, I think no. If you play a sport, you are a professional athlete. It's simple, very simple by definition.
I wouldn't consider it a sport.
But it is. But it doesn't matter what you would consider it. It is considered a sport.
No, it does matter. Like everything's conceptual. I mean, context matters, right? Like just because
yeah.
some people call something a sport and other people don't call it a sport doesn't make it a sport. Like
Is
sport
Earth a
is,
planet?
like, whatever you make it up to be.
Is Earth a planet?
Yes, Earth is a
Well,
planet.
I don't think it is. I think it's just like the dwarf planet, like Pluto. So
I get your
either
argument.
one. We're
but
both
that's
right. We're
not-
both exactly. We're both
Okay,
exactly
is chess
right.
a sport? Is chess a sport?
Yes.
Because people would call chess a sport. No, it's
No,
not.
it's a competition. It's different. It's not. It's labeled as a competition. Driving is not. Driving is a sport.
No, chess is absolutely labeled a sport by some people
Then
in
it's a
some
sport.
situations.
Perfect. And no, it's what
driving
is
is
the
a
governing
competition.
body says.
And those
No,
people are
There is
not
you're getting too
athletic.
deep
body.
into
That's my point.
No, you're getting too deep into it. Yes,
No,
NASCAR, you have to be in good
it's
shape.
your
You have to be
perspective.
good mental shape. Like it's not just your physical shape. You have to be good mental shape. There's a lot of training and rigorous activity.
You could say that about anything. You could say that about
No,
chess.
you can't. Football, you don't have to be in good mental shape for football. I watch all these absolutely crazy people every other weekend get themselves thrown in jail.
I'm sure there are also crazy people in NASCAR.
Whatever.
You could say everything you
NASCAR
just said about chess, and chess is not a sport.
If it's considered a sport, it's a sport. If it's called a sport by a governing body,
By
then it's a
who?
sport. I'm just saying, I don't know, and I don't care. The Olympics, if it's in the Olympics, it's a sport, but also NASCAR.
I think they are athletes
Nice.
Damn.
Thanks, buddy.
because I don't know. Have you ever driven a manual, Billy? Can you drive a standard car?
No,
I
because
have
he's
in the
only wearing
past.
flip flops or barefoot.
I absolutely
Yes, he's
cannot
about-
now. No. So,
Well, just imagine
it-
doing that and then like racing a bunch of people on a track going like 200 miles an hour, and you're like shifting and
something being really hard doesn't make it a sport, or it doesn't make you an athlete.
No.
Is oil drilling? Are you an athlete because you are the best oil driller in the world?
washed
Like,
up.
working on an oil rig. That's really,
Maybe.
really hard, from what I've heard. I've never been on an oil rig, but that's what everybody always says. So I just because something's hard, does not necessarily make you an
Is
athlete.
racing
Doesn't
horses
make
a
you
sport?
No. Well, it is for the horse. The horse is an athlete, for sure.
Do you know how
Not the
good of shape
jockey.
you have to be in to be a jockey? There's no fat
You have to
jockeys.
be in good shape. That doesn't make it a sport. That doesn't make you an athlete.
You can't even. You started this whole thing off by saying you can't even define what makes an athlete, and then you're trying to define what doesn't make an athlete.
I completely agree. It's completely subjective, in my opinion. It's completely subjective. I don't have a great example for why or why not, but I just know when I see it. I thought David and I were on the same page. Apparently we're not. I'm going to take back what I said earlier, and I'm not marrying David anymore. I'm
Nice.
marrying you, Demo. You're welcome.
I'm in.
We're locked together.
Hooray.
Okay. So another just couple ideas, or a couple things that came in from viewers on the emails. That is all the questions. So one content idea was trivia that we should do trivia. I think that could be really good for a one-off episode.
I love trivia.
Sure, be fun.
Compete for a draft selection spot in the Context Matters League. I think that might be a really good idea for season 2. I think we're all still trying to find out what season 1 of the Context Matters League would look like. I'd love to, if we can get 12 people in for this year and like lock them into next year too, and we can actually have some like forethought and planning and be able to do something like that, like a what's that, like a pro day or a combine, and your results actually line up to your Context Matters draft swap. That would be hilarious.
Nice.
So I think that's a good content idea. And then another, just a random thought was, I think you would enjoy @Josh Walker the First on TikTok. So David and I don't have TikTok, but I'm sure we can find him on other channels. But I will send that name out to David and JMO after this, and we will report back next week on what we think of Josh Walker the first on TikTok.
Yep.
So that is it for thoughts, content ideas, and questions coming in from you all. So thank you to Cassie, Rachel, Adam, Caitlin, Jake, Nighthawk, Zach, other Rachel, Christy, and Kevin. And yes, I did say Nighthawk.
It's true.
So we are already over 2 hours. However, I did just have a few hot topics. So did you guys see, Dave, I
Make it
think you
quick.
referenced it earlier, the thicker with 2 C's, the reporter talking to Drake May, telling him that he was thicker with 2 C's than he was last year. And Drake May is like, yeah, I don't think that's what you're meaning to say. So I got a good kick out of that.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It was Dan Roach, which is known for all of his baseball. What's it called? That's what that's who he covers, baseball. Now he's covering the Patriots. He does like a lot of the preseason game calls. So yeah, he's involved with the Patriots, and yeah, he was like, Drake May, you're looking. How did the kids say it? Thicker with 2 C's? Thick with 2 C's? Drake's like,
Yeah.
can you repeat the question? And he like repeated the question.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Such
Yeah,
a
I
joke.
mean, Drake May
So
is
funny.
looking. He did bulk up, so he is looking.
So is Anthony Richardson.
I know, that was crazy.
Good lord,
Anthony
that man
Richardson
looks
looks
big.
huge.
Yep.
Maybe a tight end, although I don't know. He doesn't really have a build as a tight
I
end.
don't know.
With
All I
that.
know is I'm gonna
More
have to
like a
kill him
DK
too because
Metcalf.
I'm not marrying him.
So the only other few stories I saw, so Josh Jacobs, we touched on it earlier too. So
Yeah, I'm not
we have
marrying him
another
either.
not good guy alert. We should like create a graphic
Maybe.
not good guy alert for the NFL.
Maybe.
Of course,
Allegedly.
maybe, but you know, you can be
Allegedly.
innocent until proven guilty in the court of law, and in my opinion, you're guilty until proven innocent when these kind of charges come up against you. So both can be true. I'm not saying you should spend the rest of your life in jail without being proven guilty, but I will also judge you differently based on how you are, or the charges that come up against you. And I reserve my right to change my opinion once I see more information.
Of course you do.
As any right person should. Right in the mind person should.
Okay.
Any other thoughts on Josh Jacobs?
No.
No.
Have fun with him in Dynasty, suckers.
Or trade
This
for him.
is a note. So Derwin James signed a big 3-year extension. Now the highest paid safety in the NFL. Well deserved. Absolute Swiss Army knife of a defense. So love Derwin James. I don't think you guys have anything on that.
Yeah, he's gonna look good.
I do. Dave, over under 12 games played for Derwin James this season.
Under.
He's
gonna look real good in January.
Even when you include the Super Bowl run and win in there.
I'll include that, and I still don't think he would. Even if that happened, I don't think he'd make more than 12 games.
Fair enough. Okay, and then the last thing is just the NBA Finals. So huge thank you to Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. They saved us having to watch
SGA
and the Oklahoma City Thunder play the New York Knicks, who are now well rested. Have you guys seen the WWE wrestler Danhausen and like everything going on with that? So that's pretty funny. So for those who aren't aware, there's like a wrestler in WWE whose whole shtick is that he curses people, and he's cursed every team the Knicks have played up until now, and the Knicks are on like a generational run. So there's like this whole theory on will Danhausen curse the Spurs or will he not? And so that'll be funny to see if he does indeed choose to curse them and whether or not that comes true. So just a little.
I don't have a horse in the race for it either. Like, I know this sounds like a cop out, and I usually have a strong opinion one way or another, but I genuinely just want some good basketball. I don't have any ill will towards either team. I like them both. I like the story of both teams. It's both a lot of fun, so I'm good with it either way.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel the same way. Thank God for the Spurs beating the Thunder. I just have a feeling that was their championship game, like series, and then maybe the finals they won't be as into it. But at the same time, you see the passion like Wemby plays with, and that's like also what like you love to see in like modern basketball is like where everybody's friends and everybody's soft. Like
Yep.
he like tells when they're losing, he'll tell the backups be like, "Hey, foul this guy and hit him hard," and like
Yeah.
he keeps like he plays basketball the way that you want to watch it, and the way it should be played.
Minus the elbow that he threw when he should have gotten suspended, and then also last night against Isaiah Hartenstein when he smashed into him, like when he goes to drive, like that sucks. Stop doing that.
Yeah,
But yes,
character flaws, but for the most part,
what are you gonna do?
it's not like
And I
he's
will note,
beating up his girlfriend.
It's true. He's not in
Josh
the NFL.
Jacobs.
So.
So I will note that Derwin James has played at least 14 games each of the last 5 years. So there you go.
Damn. Okay.
That hit Billy deep.
Yeah, he
I
was
did.
very
I had
upset.
to look it up.
Like, oh.
To be fair, 2020 he didn't play at all.
So he's
and
due, is what
2019
you're
he
saying.
played 5 games.
That's
so,
what I heard.
He's
Yeah,
due
I'm
for an
taking the
injury.
under.
So
Finals.
that
When are
does
they?
it.
Wednesday, Tuesday?
I think
Yep.
Tuesday. I don't
If
know.
only they didn't start at 9:30. What are they doing?
I
Like, you
know.
want people to watch
Jesus.
your brand of basketball, and it's insanely late on the half the country.
Another East Coast team. Yeah.
No fun.
Yeah.
Nope. All right.
Yeah. It is Wednesday, June 3rd at 8:30. Well, that does
I'm
it.
gonna hit this
for us
outro
here on
button right now. Hurry up.
Context Matters. Thanks again to Hyatt Trucks. Check us out on YouTube at Context Matter and Spotify and wherever else you can get your podcasts at the Context Matters Podcast. Also follow along with us on Twitter at Context M Podcast and Facebook at the Context Matters Podcast, as we will be keeping the reactions to discussion going all off season long. Reminder to email us at the Context Matters Podcast at gmail.com with your ideas, takes, or anything you want to see on the show, and build along with David and JMO. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week.
Nailed it.
Bye, friends.
Bye. Episode.
Go forth and conquer.